Hey everyone, Brian from 3 Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
Hey guys, did you know Stephen King's son's name is Joe?
Get the hell out.
I'm serious. I'm not joking. He is.
Oh, joking. Oh.
You get it?
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Tune into your favorite podcast for the Halloween episode. Don't miss it. And don't forget to put on your headphones. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
Good evening and welcome to another chilling episode of 3 Geeky Dads, the show with dads more frightening than a werewolf and just as hairy everywhere. Well, except the top of their heads. I am Mark, and with me as always are Booberry and Frankenberry to my Count Chocula.
Derek.
And Brian.
And joining us as always to say F you to math and the accuracy of our show title, the man with all the yummy from a mummy and fruit of a brute, Tito.
Oh, hey.
Anybody hungry?
I've never eaten any of those cereals.
Never?
Yeah, no, that's
Never.
right.
My mom.
I've only had chocolate.
had-
I don't like. What are those? What do you call it? Marshmallows.
Marshmallows?
Oh, yeah.
Cereal
Those aren't real
marshmallows.
marshmallows.
They're not real
I know. I don't like those.
I don't know what they are.
Either.
Sugar just packed tight.
It really is.
Are. They're
Tightly
like those
packed sugar.
after dinner mints at restaurants, just
For sure.
flavored
I've got a
differently.
box of Fruity Pebbles that's got like maybe 1 bowl full left. I'll have it tonight before Halloween.
That
I
sounds
love
good.
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity.
Not Fruity. What did I say? Fruity
Fruit-
Pebbles.
you did.
Frankenberry.
Yeah,
Frankenberry.
but screw those cereals. Fruity Pebbles is where it's
Yeah,
at.
no, Fruity Pebbles is
The
good. too.
smell alone is just...
It is a good smell.
I like a
but
nice
nothing-
cornflake myself.
I like Raisin Bran.
Oh, I love raisin bread. Now we're talking, baby.
Do you do the cornflakes while you're reading the Sunday Times and watching
I
60?
I take cornflakes and then I
60
take
minutes.
chocolate quick powder and I sprinkle it on top of it.
It's not Ovaltine.
And then as I eat it, then it starts to mix with the milk. It's fucking delightful.
All right, I get that though. That's why I have.
You're a rebel there, Tito.
I try.
Pebbles, man.
Pretty sure that's what the marshmallows are made out of. It's Ovaltine.
Disgusting.
Ovaltine.
Ovaltine.
Speaking of Ovaltine,
Oh,
poor Terry
R.I.P.
Garr.
Terry
yeah.
Garr.
Oh, R.I.P. Terry. Yeah.
Terry
Yeah,
Garr passed
78.
away.
One of the greats.
The entire cast of Young Frankenstein, are they now gone? Is
Well,
Kevin-
Mel is
Mel
still
Brooks
with us.
is going to
Mel
outlive
Brooks.
everyone.
Yeah, he's not
about
the
100
cast.
years
He's
old.
not in the cast, no.
He's not in the cast, but he did direct.
Writer,
He's not
director,
in there,
producer.
huh?
What about Kenneth
Gene
Mars?
Hackman's still alive.
He did
No,
sound effects.
Gene Hackman just died like last year.
Of a broken heart?
No, Gene
Gene
Hackman's still
Hackman's
alive,
not
I think.
dead.
He's still
I
alive.
look it up.
He
Okay.
retired. He disappeared
Yeah,
from the
he-
world.
No, I know he
find out.
retired, but I'm pretty sure he passed last year.
Well, we better find out, and if he isn't, we just killed him. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Gene Hackman.
The 3GD curse.
Who's the girl? Oh, you know what? The Shoeshine Boy's probably alive still.
Oh, he's,
Yeah,
he's
okay.
taken. What about Kenneth Mars?
He's
the
94
inspector?
years
Kenneth
old.
Mars is dead.
He's still alive?
Gene
Yeah,
Hackman
94
is
years
still
old.
alive.
I could have sworn he died
That's
last
old.
year. All right.
Well, he
All
will
right.
be soon. Thank you, Derek.
Good on you, Gene.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You had a
Sorry,
good- you had a
Gene.
good run, buddy.
Sorry,
You
Gene.
had a
You
good run. I'm sorry it's over.
We
He had
just
a great.
killed you.
He's having a great run.
He is.
Keep
yeah.
his name out of your mouth.
Tina's gonna slap you. So also joining us tonight, because it wouldn't be Halloween without a visit from him. Dean Kaluzdian has returned to help us close out the spooky season. Hello, Dean.
Hey, Dean.
Welcome back, my
to have
friend.
you back,
How are you?
buddy.
Glad to be here. I love
glad to
spooky
have you
season
back.
because I get to
Have
hang
you-
out with you guys.
Are you guys having a great spooky season? How's it been going? We've had a lot going on.
So many trunk or treats.
right?
Oh, I went
So
to a
many.
trunk or treat.
treat.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
gone to about 3 so
I didn't
far.
love it.
Yeah.
Somebody kept leaning up against my car. I was like, "Yeah, why are you leaning up on my car, man? Who raised you?
Can you do
Who
like?
raised you? Who leans on a
Who raised
car that
any of these
isn't
kids?
theirs?"
All right, so I don't have a kid.
I was an adult.
You don't.
Can you go and like put a fake body, like a mobster's body, in the back of the trunk, so when the kids open it up,
totally.
they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
I don't
it's
see why
Halloween.
not.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah,
idea is
why
to
not?
decorate the back
Yeah.
of your trunk.
Yeah.
Totally.
So you can make it all kinds of stuff. When
Yeah.
I had I had a Ridgeline, and my whole idea was I wanted to enclose it with like black plywood and make it look like a hearse, and like open up the back door and pull out a coffin, a wooden coffin with all the candy in it.
Oh, that's awesome.
no, even
Great
better. You
idea.
should have like
But it
a fake cadaver that's like split open, like had just gone through an autopsy. And it's
With
full
candies.
full of Skittles or something.
Gummy worms.
Gummy
worms.
Oh,
and
dude, next
Just
year.
loose
next year,
candy.
next
That sounds
Yeah.
disgusting.
loose candy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, kids. Grab a
Wrapped
handful.
candy. Can you afford wrapped candy?
Is the candy at the bottom of your
you're lucky, you'll get some Werther's.
Identified strawberry and
Oh, that's
and
it. It's nothing but ribbon candy.
It's
and
ribbon
butterscotch.
candy. It's not good candy.
Old lady candy.
It's old lady
those
candy.
you like a
strawberries.
junior mint?
What are those called? They're just called
Junior
old
mints, maybe.
strawberries. The candy with
The
the.
candy
Yeah,
with
that
the
looks like a strawberry.
wrap. They're just called
Oh,
strawberry
yeah.
Oh, I don't
candy.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandmother
so.
had them.
Yeah.
I
all
love
the time.
those. I love
I mean,
those.
they were
Yeah, and they
good.
had that
Did she
liquidy
keep them in a
scent.
Yeah.
an ashtray?
No, she kept them in a huge. Yes, it was. Well, it wasn't an ashtray, but it was a bowl on the
Yeah.
in the nice.
It could have
living
doubled
room.
as an ashtray.
I
Yeah.
guess she didn't smoke. I don't think though. Maybe she did. I have no idea. But there was a bowl.
A lot of
full
secrets,
that candy.
huh? She kept a lot of secrets, huh?
In our family.
I don't know what she
Was her sewing kit kept in a tin?
She might have smoked. I have no
those
idea.
Cookies.
Huh?
Those those cookies that are the shortbread cookies that are in the tin.
No,
Oh, those are so
no.
good.
Those Dutch ones.
Yeah,
They were in
They
the
were like in a
jar.
blue
And then
tin.
like my grandmother had a sewing kit and
Sewing kit.
That's what I was going
and
to say.
I think she kept spare change on the other.
Yeah. And the other one was first aid. It was full of Band-Aids.
I had a craving for one of those recently, and went and bought myself a,
Did you?
a sewing kit, sewing kit, cookie kit.
They're really good.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
they're
them.
pretty good. They're great
Yeah.
with tea.
They
Yeah,
tasted
yeah.
great. There was a lemon candy
good.
too that was really good too. It was almost like a cough drop, but without the medicine. But
A
it's
lemon
still,
drop?
Yeah.
Oh,
But I
maybe.
don't think. Yeah, I guess.
Or
it was
lemon
called
head?
Lemon drop.
So,
Lemon head.
Lemon head.
Was
It was
lemon
a-
heads?
It could have been a
I used to
lemon
love the
head.
I thought
lemon
lemon
head.
heads were super
Lemon-
sour.
They came in a
Yeah.
box.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't lemon head. You're right. No, these just had.
So
the-
it might have been just a
Or
lemon
am I
drop.
thinking
Could've been a
warheads?
No, you're thinking. No, there are lemon heads too.
Okay.
The lemon candy was like the filling in a lemon donut from Dunkin' Donuts, but hardened
Wow, so specific.
candy.
I don't even
That had
know
the
that I've
texture
ever had
of a
lemon
hard-boiled
donut
egg
from
yolk.
Dunkin'
You don't know
Donuts.
shit. You never had a lemon donut from Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh,
I know
those
what
are
I'm
best.
I didn't know that was on the menu.
Yeah.
I know I'll get you for Christmas.
I'm bringing you one. You're gonna eat it on.
You're
the
going to have a
next
whole
show.
dozen, buddy.
Get
Yeah,
in your
it's-
time machine and go
They're
get me
they're
one.
just the cream donuts that have gone bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Boston cream ones went sour.
I don't think that's a thing anymore.
What?
Lemon donuts from
No,
Dunkin'
they
Donuts?
are, unfortunately.
They
What?
still make
Lemon
them?
donuts
Still
are
there,
still
yeah.
there. They're delicious.
You don't
They're
like 'em,
powdered
Derek?
donuts with.
I don't like any of the ones with filling. I'll
You
eat a
don't like
Boston
filling?
cream once in a while,
No.
but like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
What
like
about
donuts with
the
filling.
chocolate frosted? Those are fucking.
I like jelly.
No, because I don't like it's no. I like a glazed donut,
Me
a
too.
chocolate glazed. I like a glazed stick.
Jesus.
I'm a
Hello.
big Kreller guy.
What about
I
the
used-
donut?
Yeah, you glaze that stick, big
Glaze
boy.
that stick. That's right.
So you are to donuts
I set
what
myself
Tito
up.
is to cereal? Is that what?
I miss the days where they were marble Krellers.
Marble crawlers.
Marble Krellers were chocolate and glazed, but
Yeah,
they were like
yeah.
twisted
Oh.
together. It was like the ice cream twist, the soft serve
Yeah,
twist. It was
I
like
love-
that in
It was
donut
the best
form.
of
Love
both worlds.
twists.
yeah. They don't make those anymore?
They,
I don't know.
I think Honeydew still has them, but
Honeydew.
they used to have them at Dunkin'
Honeydew
Donuts. They
seems to
don't.
have more crullers. Than other
Honeydew
places.
is
Yeah.
actually better than Dunks. I'm going to say it. I'll say it.
Well, and I
know.
think Honeydew
Shots
still
fired.
calls them crullers.
Yeah.
Whereas
Donuts are
Dunkin'
bigger.
changed them to sticks.
prices are better.
They're the ones that made it dirty.
Prices are better.
It's a win.
Because if I had talked about a glazed cruller,
Oh my.
I don't think anybody would have made a
I mean,
sexual joke.
Too late.
is it in the twisting of the donut that makes it a cruller and not a stick?
Possibly.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
guess.
the
Oh, I thought
design.
it was the
guess
texture
so.
of it.
The design.
So they
Maybe
switched
the
it to
design
sticks so they
and
could rip us
texture.
off because some places, if you order a glazed stick at Dunkin' Donuts, be wary, know where you're ordering from because some of them are
Cautionary tale.
No, it's serious. No,
I have a glazed stick, please.
No, I am dead serious. I am
Sir,
dead
you're gonna
serious.
have to
I found
leave.
razor blades in mine.
Homework assignment. I want you all to go to 3 different Dunkin' Donuts and order a glazed stick at each one. You will get 3 totally different glazed sticks. They've got like the hard ones, like
Oh my.
the you know the donut
I
sticks
bet.
that you get the packaged donut sticks.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so those it's like those. It's like you get like a hard lemon kind of flavor, vanilla.
That's the lemon sticks.
Like hard glaze. Like it's firm.
Giggity, 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 giggity. Ooh.
It's a firm stick. I know.
Wait,
I don't know if I like where this episode is going.
I'm
Did
telling
Lean
you,
into
this
it. Lean into it,
this
Dad.
is 100% real. But then you'll get one that's like 4 inches smaller.
4
and
inches
it's
is fine.
Fluffy. And it's fluffy and light. It doesn't have the same flavor. It doesn't have the same amount of sugar. I'm
so
telling
many
you.
directions we can go in.
I know.
Dean, why do you keep coming back, man?
Because it's spooky season.
Yeah,
Season.
I thought we were talking about horror movies.
We are. Donuts are horrifying.
No,
The
but
horrors
I-
of
crazy.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I-
man.
I have
Bad for
to-
your health. Tito, you are getting. I am bringing you a lemon donut.
I
next
would
week,
prefer
though.
you not.
You're gonna eat it. And
I-
you will
I
change
do-
your life.
You're gonna get nothing like it.
Change your life, man, for the better.
Don't cut that out.
I do have
not.
to
I want the
interject.
listeners.
Yeah, they know. We're not going to
I
cut
will
it.
not cut anything.
All right, so this is look. I have it in the script. Improvised dialogue.
I have
There
to
it is in
say
parentheses and underlined. He even had it underlined.
that I enjoy apple cider donuts so much.
Oh, those
that
are just, yes.
when they're on
Cider.
sale during this part of the season.
Yes.
I actually buy a lot of them and freeze them
But do
for
you
when
find
they're
brands-
not.
Do you find brands you don't like?
Well, Stop and Shop are cheaper.
Yeah.
So when they go on sale, so you get 6 for $2.50. Those are the ones that I buy and freeze and put away for later. But there's a lot of farm stand ones, and
Yeah.
I did a gig playing a ghoul a couple of weeks ago, and they had a donut stand that had the most amazing apple cider donuts.
Was it Big Apple? Is Big Apple one of the ones that's local?
Yeah, it's in Rentham.
They have really good ones.
Yep. The Big Apple
Shit,
Farm.
now I'm hungry.
Well, there's a sandwich.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
I'll
there,
get my
right
sandwich,
there,
but
my guy.
it's not a donut though.
Just pretend.
It's a turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
Next week I'll
That's
bring
one
a
of
dozen
Derek's
donuts.
glazed sticks.
You can fold it into a hoop and
I
pretend.
guess I could.
It's got to work for that glaze.
It's a turkey glazed
It's gotta
donut.
work for it.
Leave Derek's glaze alone, man. I'm sure
On
it's
you.
very tasty.
Oh no, they's doing gay jokes without me.
I can't wait until the comments roll in. He's right. He's right.
Yeah, you're gonna have a support group.
Show pictures. Post
Vindication.
But I'm
pictures on the
here.
Facebook page.
Oh yeah, our one listeners. My mom's listening.
Yeah.
Mom.
I think my dad's listening too.
Yeah, Mom, Brian's
have
dad. What do you think of
listeners.
Derek's stick?
What's that
Let us know.
Let's
That's
not. I don't wanna play that
disgusting.
game.
All right, let's get back to
All right, do
this.
your
So
intro,
I'm
will
gonna-
ya?
So tonight the dads will be taking a road trip back to the literary world of Stephen King as we take a look at Salem's Lot, the story of a vampire and his familiar opening an antique store in a small town as a front to feast on the living residents. We'll talk both the 1978 miniseries and the recent remake from HBO Max, or just Max, or artist formerly known as HBO, whatever. It doesn't really matter. None of this matters. Either way, we'll be passing through the sleepy little town of Salem's Lot, which is currently closed to the public due to being overrun with vampires. Like that could stop us. But before we gas up the car, pack some garlic, and stroll on over to the Marston house, our own bloodsucker of baking goods and beef patties, Brian,
Hey.
has prepared a yummy appetizer to start us off.
You really trust. Excuse me that I do not join you. But I have already dined.
and I never drink. Why?
Tonight, as Mark mentioned, we're going to be looking at Salem's Lot, both the original miniseries and the 2024 remake that you can now stream on Max, as Mark just mentioned. And before we move up north to the quiet small town of Salem's Lot, we'd like to quickly go over some of our favorite horror films that take place in a big city, because we recently spent time in a big city.
We sure did.
What city was that?
Chicago.
New York.
Sweet home, Chicago.
New York City.
New York City.
NYC.
We still have the city in our blood.
We do.
We still want to talk some city stuff.
Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of the opposite.
I like
So
this.
we're going to be doing
It's like a bizarro appetizer.
big city horror movies.
Cool.
Right.
Love it.
Who's
All
going
right.
first this week?
Yeah, I lost count.
Dean, you're the guest. Would you like
All
to
right.
start?
All
right.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
just, my choice is probably going to be Mark, so I'm actually going to throw a different one out there that I just came up with while you guys were talking. It's not one of my favorites, but it is all about the city. I was trying to think of ones that actually were so city, and there just are not that many that I could think of. Chud.
Bud
seen
the
Chud.
Which I did
Chud.
not think of until you
CHUD.
just started.
Yes.
That's a good one. I
Never
totally
seen
forgot
it.
about that one.
With the hand at the sewer.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
That's right.
Oh,
There's
I
a
never saw
great
that
there's a
film.
great
Oh, it's a
Simpsons
great-
joke
It's a euphemism.
about
Yeah,
you know.
is there?
And then came the Chuds. When Homer's
And they were
talking
listening
about,
to our podcast.
yeah, it's Homer describing why he hates New York.
That's funny.
We saw no chuds in New York.
No.
No.
At Comic-Con, that was another story.
Plenty
A lot of chodes.
A lot of chodes.
A lot of chodes, but
There
not
were
a
a
lot
lot
of
of chodes. Well, that's gross. But we did see it. Good pick, man. I try to rack my brain over something different because I've been talking about this movie way too much, but I wouldn't be honest with myself if I didn't say it, so I'm just going to say it. Gremlins 2, The New Batch. It's my favorite
That's in a
sequel.
big city.
It's
Is
one
that
of
in New York?
It's in
Yeah,
New York.
we got to and we got to see
Big
the
Apple. We got to
St.
see the
Patrick's. Is it St.
cathedral?
Patrick's Cathedral?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we
All
did.
right. So when
it's right near,
so when
Radio
Dick
City.
Miller pours the cement on the back gremlin and it goes up to the top of the
Steeple. Yeah.
steeple, thank you, and freezes
Oh,
like a
yeah.
gargoyle. We saw that. I
You
love
saw
this
Dick
movie
Miller
so
actually
much.
do
The
it.
gargoyle
No,
wasn't
we
there
didn't.
anymore.
Dick
no.
Miller's dead.
They took the gargoyle.
Oh, thanks for bringing it up, Mark.
Well, I don't want you to be
Spoilers.
misinformed. I don't want you giving people hope.
Hey,
Dick
Gene
Miller's
Hackman's
still
alive.
Yeah, Gene Hackman's alive.
Oh, thank
So
heavens.
you didn't
not.
choose the one that I thought. So at the end.
Oh, I'm curious to see what you thought. But let's go around and see who else in case they pick it.
Derek.
all
Mr.
right.
Derek.
I'm gonna go. It's not really my number one, but I'll say it and I'll mention my number one later.
Wait a minute. What's going on?
Midnight Meat
wait.
Train.
Nobody's picking their number ones?
I picked my number one.
Well, this was the first one I came up with, but then I realized
The
there's
Midnight
much better.
Meat
My
Train.
favorite New York City horror movie is a different one, but we've talked about it, and I don't want to talk about it right now.
I'm kind of the same, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
So I'm
All
gonna
right,
say
let's- okay.
Midnight Meat Train.
Midnight Meat
I
Train.
never saw that. Who's
Yeah,
in that?
I didn't
it's Bradley Cooper,
Oh, is that Vinny
no
Jones?
shit.
pre-Marvel fame. Yes, Vinnie Jones and Leslie Bibb.
Leslie Bibb.
Yeah.
Also pre-Marvel fame,
That's
I
true.
guess.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. It's based on a short story by Clive Barker.
Is it really?
Yeah. There's
It's part of his Books of Blood series, the same as
I
Rawhead
think we
Rex.
just talked about that.
Oh.
Cooper plays a
That
photographer.
monstrosity.
He's on the track of he's trying to track down
Cooper X.
I watched that movie.
Nubian.
What's a
Nubian.
Nubian?
What was I? Oh yeah, so he's Vinnie Jones is a serial killer. He's killing people like, nightly on a train.
Yep.
Vinnie Jones.
It leads to a
I like
bigger,
this cast.
darker secret. It's got some great gore, some great horror, great performances by
Did
them.
Clive Barker direct it?
No.
Do you own this one,
directed
Derek?
it?
I do.
I think you
own
do.
this
I
one.
think it's on your
Yes,
Vudu.
It's on my Vudu.
I know I've
Oh.
passed.
It
We'll have
is.
to
I'm
watch
pretty
it.
sure I passed by it many times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to stop and watch it.
It's
then
good.
next
Out
time.
there ending. Totally out there ending, but it's worth a
Next
watch.
stop, Midnight Meat Train.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
a good time.
It's a
All
good
aboard,
story,
Brian.
too, for all you people that read books. If any of you out there are listening.
And funny piece of trivia
It is a great story.
at
It
the end, the conductor of the train, his driver,
Yeah.
is
He was dead the whole time.
no, I forget the guy's name. He's
The call is coming from the back seat.
he's the one that was in League. He played Skinner in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, God, I know.
The Invisible Man.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in one of the. I
He's
think he was in
that
Underworld.
Evolution.
Yeah, Evolution.
Yeah, turns into a giant bat.
Right. Need a little trivia.
Cool.
Go ahead,
Brian.
I have talked about another movie that I'm not going to talk about. Like Derek, I'm going with the second pick because the other one I've
AP?
talked about to death.
I got to know
AP?
what these number ones are.
AP?
though.
No.
Oh, it's not AP. All right. Okay. All
not
right. I'll
AP.
save it. No, go ahead.
Poltergeist 2.
Oh, the one in the high rise.
The one in the high rise.
That's
Poltergeist
3.
3.
It's 3. Poltergeist 3. The one in the high rise.
Wait, what's 2 then?
I thought
Not
it
in
was
the high
two.
rise.
House is gone.
No, the house. There's another house,
another
and
house.
it's
It's got the
creepy
old
Julian
guy.
Beck and
We got the Native American dudes
Yeah.
there.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
shaman.
Poltergeist 3.
with
The
Tom
one in the high
Skerritt.
rise.
Tom
Yeah,
Skerritt.
Skerritt.
Oh, and
Yeah, Nancy Allen.
bingo.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go, Nancy.
Nice.
Yep. It wasn't my favorite, but I did like how they tried to do all the effects practically with all the mirrors. So I thought that was
Oh,
pretty
that is
cool.
a crazy. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
An evil Heather Rourke at one point.
That's right.
And
She
they
gets
didn't
possessed.
have Heather Rourke for half of that.
No.
That's right. 'cause She
Right.
died during
Passed
the
away while
right?
making
Yes,
Yep. The Poltergeist curse continued to claim victims.
it did.
Poor Heather.
Craig T. Nelson's fine though, so let's be
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah,
Coach.
he's doing. Yeah.
Tom
Yep.
Skerritt's still doing
Joe
good.
Beth Williams, both alive and well.
Joe Beth
Oh,
Williams.
Joe
Nancy
Beth
Allen
Williams.
is still alive.
Yeah,
Do
Nancy
you
Allen.
realize
Yeah.
how many people you guys are jinxing right now?
Yeah,
Like, you
I
literally
know. I
have
know,
just-
Dean.
Yeah, we
This is
totally
like Death Note.
We're like
That's our podcast sometimes. It really is.
I love Joe Beth
We
Williams.
bring people up and then they tend to pass away a few
How's
weeks later.
P. Diddy doing? Or Diddy? Diddy all right? Remember Diddy did a thing for Godzilla?
P.
That's
Diddy
He did a thing all right.
Oh, with Jimmy Page.
Yeah, with Jimmy
terrible.
Page.
Come with
It's
me.
awful,
Terrible.
isn't it?
Come with me.
Let's just mention Diddy's name one more time. Diddy,
Terrible,
okay.
terrible song.
It is fucking awful.
You say him 3 times and he shows up with a bottle of lotion.
Hey, well, now we're all gonna get raped. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome, Tito. At least you'll get your lemon donut.
Oh, one could only hope.
That's what Diddy calls a. Never mind.
He stops himself.
This is like a trumpet.
Tito, how about you?
I think I was asking for it because of the way I'm dressed.
I'm stepping out of this one.
What do you got, Tito?
Smart.
You little slut.
The voice of reason, Dean Kaluzian. I didn't go New York.
What?
You don't have
I
to
did
go
go
there.
Chicago though.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Candyman. We did it already.
Yeah.
Candyman.
Doesn't matter. Cabrini
It's a
Green.
good big city. I especially like movies that are set in like an urban
is.
environment. So it's a fun one for me.
I like Chicago.
I had a backup, but I don't like it as much.
What was your backup? New York?
It was a New York one. Yeah.
All right. Well,
you'll
we're on
find out.
backups. So
All right,
You got
Dean,
another one?
runners up.
Let's hear the
So,
one that you were
I-
gonna say that you actually like.
Or Demons. Demons, the first one.
That's the movie theater. Demons 2.
Demons
is-
2.
Electric
Demons
Boogaloo.
2
I
is
was getting
the-
which
the
one.
apart-
Demons 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Shit, and Evil Dead Rise.
And Evil Dead Rise.
I didn't
Yeah, I
even
was,
think
Yeah.
of
Oh, Evil
I was
Dead
actually
Rise.
going
That's
to.
my runner-up.
Rise and Demons.
I was going to put them together because they're basically the same
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Like in,
I just went mofo.
That was yours.
That's the whiskey.
that was your. That was the other one.
That
you
was
were
your
thinking?
actual number one.
No, well, no. But that was my runner-up.
Oh, okay.
No, my actual
Dead Rising.
number one I'll bring up as my runner-up.
All right, so you have
that
any
was
more?
what I thought. No, I had a really hard time on this. I could not think of that many.
So I'm
Wow.
going New York Ripper. The last 20 minutes of Jason Takes Manhattan. Critters 3.
That's in New York.
It's in a city.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it is New York.
Big city. We'll take it.
And oh shit, there was another one. But
Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe.
That one's yeah.
There it is.
The sunny
you
New
know
York.
What? I'm gonna go the last half of Hellraiser. No, Hellraiser 3.
Yeah.
Hellraiser 3 takes place in a city.
Yeah?
It sure does.
All right.
Oh, it's
That's
a
right.
metropolis.
The
of
CD
some
demon.
kind. Yeah.
That's my favorite
think
Hellraiser.
I was
Nondescript.
Hellraiser 1, I believe. I mean, they have a house,
Yeah,
but I
it's
think
in
that's
London.
supposed to be
It
London.
is.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Because
Yeah,
the
but you
end,
don't see
she's
much
out
of
in
city.
the city.
She
Yeah.
is. She's walking through the bridge looking all cute because she's awesome.
Because she's cute.
Shout out Ashley Lawrence.
Shout her out. I've never seen that one.
You never
No,
saw
because
the
we
one?
were working backwards.
Tito's working
I
backwards.
think I saw 4, then 3. I haven't seen 2 or 1 yet.
Oh,
Wow.
We'll fix
Yeah.
that.
I have them.
You're Beverly Hills copying it is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that
taking
you've-
your
Nothing
favorite
wrong with that.
Derek.
Start with the best and work your way back. That's
Beverly
great.
Hills Cop
It's a
3.
good
Is that a
idea.
horror movie?
It's a good idea.
Derek, runners up for you, sir.
I had 1408 with John Cusack
Oh, yeah,
and Sam
yeah.
Jackson.
That was your
Oh,
number
yeah, yeah.
one?
No. My number one is American Psycho.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Wow.
on my
It's
list.
totally
Could've
like
picked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's
man.
all New York. The New York scene, and
Yeah.
the fact that, and I just love the fact that like the monster, the New York monster, is not some serial killer on a train or a creature or anything
chud.
like that. Yep, exactly. It's like literally the everyman, like what is the type of person that most people would aspire to be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that whole lifestyle
monster.
and just the money,
Yeah.
the money monster. So,
Love it.
All right,
Brian.
So my number one was one that I've brought up a lot, and like you, I think is a quintessential New York horror movie. It's Rosemary's Baby,
That's right. Yes.
I hate
and
that.
to a
Yeah.
lesser extent, the new sequel/prequel Apartment 7A.
Oh, it is related to it.
yeah.
call.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
call.
No. You,
Okay.
I don't
Well,
think
I haven't.
you were
I've
here
never
that
seen
week.
Rosemary's
Was
Baby.
he here?
I-
Was he not here when we talked
I don't think
about
so.
that?
I brought it up. It was on one of my Geek Flags.
Oh, okay, I wasn't
Might
here.
a few
have
weeks
missed
ago. I
that
think
one.
it was the week you were not here.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
seen Rosemary's Baby, so I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah. So the new movie Apartment 7A is the prequel. It's the tenant that had the apartment before Rosemary and her husband.
Oh, yes, you
And
did
it was,
talk about
it was
this,
their
yeah.
the satanic cult who
Right.
lives in that building. It was their first attempt to bring about the birth of the Antichrist. Yeah.
I can't make it through that movie.
I know you brought
Rosemary's
that up.
Baby.
Yeah.
I've fallen asleep every
Same.
time I try
Yeah.
to
Did
watch
you
it.
try the remake with
Super deep.
was it Tanny Newton or no, Zoe
Keep
Saldana?
forgetting.
No.
One of the two of them.
I didn't even know there was a
Made it.
remake.
There's a remake with
Yeah.
Zoe
Oh
Saldana.
no, I wouldn't watch that.
No.
No, I don't think I would.
Is that made for TV?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
Sounds.
Ah. Just like tonight's film.
And I honestly don't know which one it was.
We'll get there. No,
I
we
think it
will.
was Tanny Newton, but it may very well have been.
They
Zoe.
get mistaken
I will take
for each
either of
other
them,
quite
but I don't know if I could
Baby.
watch.
I feel guilty for that.
I don't know if I could watch a remake of Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Can't stay awake for the original. I doubt I can stay awake for the remake.
There you go.
I see. I would have said I loved it, but I haven't watched it in a long time, so I don't know if I would sit through it now. Going, so I'm thinking the
Rosemary's
same
Baby?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I did hear you guys talk about
We
it.
talk about it a
before,
lot.
and-
I've tried so
Yeah.
many times, man. I appreciate it.
Derek in the sequel or prequel Apartment 7A, Diane Weiss plays the Ruth Gordon character
Oh, from the
original movie.
Okay, I haven't
Yeah.
seen the
Oh,
original.
that's
Yeah,
a
but I know
Polanski
you're a
movie,
fan of
right?
Diane
Diane
Weiss too.
Weiss.
Yes.
Smart.
All right.
Yeah.
Polanski?
Well, the
Nice.
original
Yeah.
is Polanski.
Fuck that
Yeah, I
guy.
love Diane.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Makes great movies, but he's scum.
Yeah, great movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
Didn't they just drop his case? He
Did
can now
they?
come back to the United States. I think.
Acquitted.
Wow. Good for
Yeah.
him. I suppose.
Yeah, I think
If the condom doesn't fit, you must acquit.
I
Good
think
for
they
you,
settled.
Polanski.
I think that was in the news last week.
It's been settled.
Oh.
Oh,
Yep.
all right.
So-
Well, they got something to accomplish.
So now he can come back.
All right. Well,
Hurrah
Don't
for
call it a comeback.
I-
Don't call it
Polanski.
many the whole
All right.
time.
I don't hear Tito saying, "Come home, Roland."
No, we don't need him.
I still like Chinatown. There.
It's a
Yeah.
good movie.
And
Yeah.
the Fearless
The
Vampire.
Fearless
Oh,
Vampire
Fearless
Killers.
Vampire.
Thank you, Dean.
Yes.
True.
Love that movie. He does
Yeah.
make some good films. Rosemary's Baby, I should like. I don't know why I don't.
Because it's not good.
Tito, what's
All
your
right.
backup?
Tito, Tito, how about you?
I can't stay awake. I actually had American Psycho in mind. Maniac Cop. It was a New York movie.
Yeah,
Predator
Maniac.
2.
I was gonna
In
say
a big city.
Yes.
Child's Play. Chicago.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought you
Damn.
might have that one.
I
I got a
didn't.
bunch, actually. People Under the Stairs.
That's true. That's a good
Yep.
American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, London.
And Attack the Block were all my big cities.
Attack the
See,
Block.
I
good
thought
one.
Attack the
Nice
Block,
job.
but I was
I love
thinking
Attack the
that that
Block.
was science fiction,
Right.
not horror.
No,
but
it's horrific.
I would
But
call
I-
it horror.
yeah.
That's
I
fair.
think it straddles the line.
I can't
Yeah,
believe.
no,
dude,
I'm-
an American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
Good call. And Attack
Yeah.
the Block. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would categorize. it.
Yeah, no, it definitely can be.
It's so
I
funny
am
because
not-
when you think of American Werewolf in London, for some reason my mind always just goes to the Moors.
Right.
The Moors,
Right.
It
Yeah.
goes to the
You don't
beginning of
think
the
of
movie,
London.
and not the
Right.
when he
Even
attacks
though
people on
that's
the
like
subway.
the big scene in
Yeah.
Piccadilly.
Yeah,
Circus.
exactly. That's where the
Yeah.
whole thing ends.
You know,
Yeah.
there's another Werewolf City movie too.
this-
American Werewolf in Paris.
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
good one.
that's
I
a
like
city.
that
We
one.
don't talk about that.
We
Derek.
We don't talk about it
that.
enough.
How about the remake of Cat People? That was
Oh yeah,
That is in the
also
city.
yeah.
Yeah, Natasha Kinski.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
And
Cat
Ed Begley
People.
Jr. gets his arm ripped off.
Oh,
Ed
does he?
Begley Jr.
Wow.
Remember him?
Remember, he was on electric cars early.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
was.
Yeah,
It's true.
Shout out Ed Begley Jr.
yeah. He lives in a house made of paper.
He's not getting
Shows
any
up
love
in
for that
Spinal
one.
Tap real quick.
You better hope the big bad wolf doesn't come by.
He was real
Right.
early on the electric car scene.
Yeah, yeah. He was big into the recycling and stuff.
He was. Him
Yeah.
and Al Gore. They
Yeah,
shared,
he
they
invented
shared
the
a room
internet.
together.
Right.
Was it
Al
that?
Gore or
I'm
Ed
pretty sure
Begley
Ed Begley
Jr.?
Jr. invented electric cars.
He did.
Al Gore invented the internet.
Right,
That's it.
right.
There you go.
He
two
invented
of them.
Transylvania
Hell of a partnership.
65000.
They want a brainstorm.
Very true.
Oh shit! Can I bring up? Vampire in Brooklyn.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
How did I
Oh,
miss
wow.
that?
Definitely.
Blackula. Shit, Blackula takes place in the city. I may have to revamp this. Blackula.
Oh,
Revamp,
no pun
huh?
intended.
Well,
Two vampire
I
movies.
did it. I love Gremlins too, but Blackula is one of my favorite films,
Yeah.
and that is the city. I may have to
It is
recant.
the shit.
It is the shit.
Hey, that one takes place in the
It does
city
have,
too, doesn't it?
does.
Yeah.
It's got some,
Yeah.
the majority of it is in a city or a
Yeah,
small town. Or it's urban.
it is.
Very
It's
urban.
very urban.
Tales from the Hood.
Tales from
Tales
the hood.
from the hood.
The shit.
The
Ah,
shit.
yes.
Ah, yes.
The shit.
Cuban bees.
The drugs. I hid them in the coffin. So sorry. All right, shall we? Great
let's-
appetizers,
great
everybody.
appetizers.
Quality
Good job.
appetizers.
Shall we get to the main course?
Absolutely. The
main
course.
Wow.
That was beautiful. It was a little erotic.
Made my skin crawl just a little bit.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll get you more.
Yeah,
In,
it
in
was
a
like
good way or a bad way?
like towards the end. I was like, if it goes for a few seconds longer,
Yeah.
It's going
I
to get
have to
Roman
get up.
Too erotic.
Polanski-ish.
yeah, it's
gonna
getting a
get
little
too erotic.
Polanski-ish. Yeah, we're getting Polanski territory when you go a little too long. 6 seconds is fine.
Yeah. Any longer hiss than a 6-second hiss is
That's right.
bad
And
news.
it's like, wait a minute.
You're
6
in-
seconds, 4 inches.
Whose hand is on my lap?
Dean, are you taking notes? It's a quiz.
Oh, me scoozy.
I'm stepping out of this one.
Scoozy,
Me scoozy. Oh, me scoozy.
Me scusi.
My gosh. All right, here
All
we
right,
go.
buddy.
The main course.
Go for it.
Good evening, and I bid you welcome, my friend. Join us as the dads bring this month to an end. Tonight we have vampires festering this show, all of them under care of a Mr. Barlow. Listen for children of the night as they sing with this vampire classic from the writer Stephen King. Something old, something new looks at both of these features about a small little town and its blood-sucking creatures. There's a lot going on with the folks of this town. It's not Castle Rock's bad dog or Derry's wicked clown. It's a plague of undead that is growing by the hour, as townfolk once sweet turn into something quite sour. The remake has a town with people full of fright. The original has a town where all the people are white. The remake has actors, some are good in the role, but the OG has Starsky and Hutch's David Soul. Both movies have strong points and also some jeers, but neither as bad as Stephen King's Langoliers. So join us as the dads talk both Salem's lots, and thus we begin with our opening thoughts.
Very
Opening
nice.
thoughts.
Very nice.
Better every week.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I miss doing these. I might start doing this year. I'm sure it won't get annoying in the slightest.
Very good.
Thank you, Dean.
Dean, opening
Dean
thoughts.
is a theater,
All right, all
theater
right.
person, so he
Yes.
he knows.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
He's also way too nice.
So,
Dean, your opening
okay,
thoughts.
here's the thing. I always come on here and talk about movies that I love. And so this is kind of the first time, because I hate publicly talking shit about anything.
Oh, come out of your
They're gonna come
comfort
after
zone.
you.
And
Come out of your
I
comfort
do.
zone.
Are we giving opening thoughts on both, or what?
Both.
Are we
Yeah.
starting?
On
Both.
both. Yeah.
I love the original. It has a strong part in my heart. Just rewatching it last night, has a lot of flaws. Obviously, it's a TV movie from the 70s, late 70s. But the new one, I didn't like at all. I was very bored, and we'll get into more about why I don't like it as we go into the parts of it. But yeah, no, I really like the original, and really did not like the new
Wow.
one.
Nice.
And I was looking forward to it. I've got a lot of my students are extras in it, and
Oh, really?
I've
Oh,
been
no
really
kidding.
hoping that it was going to be something I enjoyed, because I love Salem. It's a great book.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
and Stephen King stories. I want to. I know people who are working on Stephen King stuff, and I always want to say, like, hey, trust the source material.
Right.
Absolutely.
That is
Yep.
the mistake that people have
Absolutely.
been making for 30 years. When you go with the source, with the exception of Stanley Kubrick, when you go with the source material, their successes. When everybody goes against it, it's
Right.
always a dud.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts. I'll elaborate later, but I won't sit here complaining about it.
Well, that's what we do.
I want to hear more.
You will.
Oh,
Okay, perfect.
You'll have time. You'll have time to unload it all, man. So I love this book. I've read it a couple of times.
We're talking movies, though, Mark.
No,
Yeah.
well, books. This from a book.
What's
you
a
know?
book?
What's a book? I love the book Salem's Lot.
What's a
and
diorama?
I think what's a tortoise, and
It's his favorite book too, right?
Is it? Is
Yeah,
it
I
one
think
of
it's
his
Stephen
favorites?
King's favorite
It's
book
a
that he's written.
very good book. People, if you like to read and you have not read this book, read this book.
And it was only his second, too.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and
After Carrie.
It
Yes.
introduces a lot of his themes.
Yeah.
that
It
he
really
uses
does.
over and over again.
And herein lies the problem with the remake as opposed to the original. The original is very long. It's very 70s. It's very old with a limited budget, so somebody going in there with fresh eyes might find it difficult to get through. I understand that. But the one thing that the original does and the remake does not do is spend time on the characters at all. You've got maybe 2 or 3 characters you get to know a little something about, and they're great. But everybody else in that movie that becomes a vampire, when they become a vampire, no love, no loss, no impact, because you didn't really know who the hell they were in the first
Yeah.
place. The 70s, while slow and a miniseries, took time, so you got to know virtually all the main players in Salem's Lot. So when they died or they turned into vampires, you felt something. You felt it creepy. In this one, they were so busy trying to get to the vampires and make the vampires look great, they forgot that the thing that makes Stephen King books great are not the monsters, it's the people.
Right.
Yeah.
The people are fantastic and well fleshed out and very detailed, so that when the monster comes, be it vampire, clown, dog, or whatever, you are more terrified because you feel like you know the characters. And even though you got to go through pages and pages and chapters of these characters and you're wondering why Stephen King goes on about them, when they croak or they die or turn into a vampire, you feel it more. The remake does none of that. And the 70, I'm saying 78, I want to say it's 78.
79?
79,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
79.
It manages to do that quite well, despite being old and a slow burn. When they go, I think you feel more for them. So that's my
Agreed.
opening thoughts.
So I hadn't seen the original since I was a teenager. I didn't really remember it. Overall, I didn't think it was very good, to be honest. But that was until I watched the remake. But the original, it certainly has some memorable, iconic images. Ralphie at the window, Ryerson in the rocking chair, the reveal of the Nosferatu style Barlow, all like things that even though I hadn't seen it since I was young, I remembered those things, and that's what stands out and makes you think of the movie. So, but overall, it's the acting's terrible in the original, by most parties involved. But then I watched the remake, and that one really blew. So even though I really like vampires, these movies they don't do it for me.
So neither one.
I think you hit the nail on the head with the characters, the character development. I think that Mike Flanagan should be the only guy that's allowed to do a Stephen King remake because he's the only one that he captures both aspects. He gets you scared.
What are the ones he did?
He did Dr. Sleep.
I
He's doing
did
that
like
new
that.
one, The
I
Life
did
of
like
Chuck,
that.
which is supposedly like really, really, really good.
He's
did
doing
like-
the Gunslinger, too.
He's doing he's
they're
doing
trying
the
that
Dark
again?
Tower. Yeah, they're doing
Okay.
it's a TV show.
Wow. All
He's
right.
doing that.
Cool.
Good.
He's they just announced a Carrie TV show that he's working on, and he did
Interesting.
Gerald's Game on Netflix. Which
Was that
fucking
a
awesome.
Stephen King story?
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
With
Yes.
Carla
with
Gugino?
Carla
I've been meaning
Gugino.
to watch that. Yeah.
And it was fucking awesome.
And Bruce
Like,
Greenwood? Is
Bruce
that
Green-
his
yep,
name? Yeah.
yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is the husband?
I finally saw that one within
who
the
the
last
two of
5
them
years.
he ended up putting in after he put them in Fall of House of Usher.
Yes, that I did see. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a very big disappointment. I think, like you, Dean, I really wanted to like that new one. I thought, it's newer. That they learned their mistakes with the Rob Lowe one, maybe, that they didn't, and it's.
I never saw that one.
I never saw the Rob Lowe
Same
one either.
exact
Yeah.
problem. They try to be more faithful to the book by
Yeah.
having Count Barlow, because Barlow in the book is not a Count Orlok creature. It's a normal looking
Like Dracula,
human being,
kind of,
like
yeah.
Dracula. It's a Bela Lugosi.
Oh,
type.
interesting.
It's and he talks and he's he's very verbal as opposed to the original that doesn't talk at all, and the remake who talks a little bit but looks like the original, but
Yeah.
none of them are straight on
The Count
adapted from the
Barlow.
book.
That's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Brian, opening
Brian?
thoughts?
I'm very similar to Derek. I don't think I watched this miniseries when it was first broadcast in '79. even though I was certainly old enough.
Yeah, you were.
I only saw this whole thing all the way through a few years ago. Thank you, Tito.
Brian, you're the best, man. Come on.
You're the wise man. You're the shaman.
Oh, please don't squeeze the shaman.
Really are.
Don't shake me. I'm lactose intolerant.
Touché.
For a TV horror movie, it was done quite well. It wasn't until recently that I learned that Tobe Hooper was the director behind it all, which is probably why it worked so as well as it did. As far as the new movie, I, like everyone else, just watched it on Max when it dropped a month ago. And I kind of liked the adaptation for the most part, even though it was a condensed version of the source material. And it felt rushed. I really wanted to like it, too, because, like Dean, I know somebody that was in it. And I was really rooting for the movie.
That's right.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. My friend,
yes.
I graduated with a woman, Marilyn Bush, who was an actor, and she was in this. She was one that played Ben Mears' landlady in this movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. Cool.
You don't remember her name, right? Because they didn't do anything with her.
I don't think so.
In
Yeah, she's a
in
waste
the
of time.
book,
Nobody needs her.
in the original, you know her quite well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Eva Miller? Eva Miller.
Miller.
They do mention her name, but then she disappears like as soon as she's introduced.
So in the
She comes back
original,
once they
she's
catch her in the
married to the
bedroom.
town drunk Weasel.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's got this whole. They all have these great stories.
backstories.
Right.
I
This
know.
movie should have been a series. It
It's a
should
regular
have
Peyton
been a
Place.
series.
Well, and that's what they should have done. Was they should
Yeah.
have done it like as even just a 2-part. And,
I think they could have done more than two parts.
There are
Right.
so many.
I think they could have made it
characters,
at least like a 6-hour mini
Or
series
Yeah.
kind of thing.
You
Oh yeah.
could condense it down. You could have gotten all that information from the miniseries and condensed in a contemporary.
Well, the
movie.
original miniseries, like when they released it on DVD, what are we looking at?
112 minutes,
yeah,
I think it
right.
was.
And you still managed to get pretty much all the stories. You got Eva Miller, you got Weasel Phillips, you got Ned Tibbetts' story and Susan Norton's story and
Mike Ryerson.
and fucking Cullen and Cully and Boom Boom Bonnie. Where was Boom Boom Bonnie? They made Susan Norton the secretary.
Right.
Bullshit. Where was
Right.
Boom
Oh,
Boom Bonnie?
Boom Boom.
And we'll get
Mark's
to
calling
that.
foul.
Sorry, Brian. Continue.
That was it. No, I was done, man.
all
Go
right.
ahead.
Boom Boom Tito.
Never read the book. Books are for dorks. I'm just messing. Books are cool, kids.
Way to backtrack.
Kids don't listen to us anyway.
The views
they
of
don't.
Tito.
Only adults.
The views of Tito do not reflect our Audible sponsor.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Never saw the mini series. I watched it recently. It was a tough watch for me. Nothing really happens for like an hour.
Yep.
They devote so much time to each character that I don't even remember who's who by the time something cool happens. I'm like, wait a minute, what's that guy's name?
Right.
They all look like John Denver. Even fucking Bonnie Bedelia looks like John Denver. And I love
Oh, she looks
I
great
love
as a-
Holly Gennaro.
She looks
Yes.
great as a vampire.
I
though.
fucking love her. Oh, she
Spoiler
looks
alert.
amazing. She looks amazing.
So
On
good.
my shoulder.
They do. They do all look like John.
There was a point where I was like, I can't. Who's who? I love Jeffrey Lewis. Big fan of that guy. Love Bonnie Bedelia.
Mike Ryerson.
And who's
Yeah.
the guy who plays the? And James Mason, who was
Oh,
the
yeah.
best
James
actor in the
Mason.
movie.
James
He's the
Mason.
biggest
Who's-
actor, but he's fucking
He's
horrible.
well,
You get the hell out!
I think he's
No.
in about 4 minutes of the whole thing.
No way.
He's the best
I'm a
actor in the movie, and he has
Strong disagreement.
No screen time.
Derek, back shaman, back priest. You can do nothing against the master. Come on.
So I agree with Mark. I think the original does a good job of giving the right amount of screen time to characters and fleshing them out. But I really like the new one. Yeah, I have never read the book or seen any of them. I think that the Mark character is better in the new one.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
agree
that
with you on
the
that one.
Ben character is more interesting than the original.
I disagree with
They
that. We'll fight.
Mark and Ben could have been father and son. I don't know. I didn't get it. I was like, oh, they killed his parents. Who's this guy that looks just like him?
In the original?
Yeah, because Mark
David-
is really just a
So that's-
zombie through the whole movie.
Lance Kerwin,
Yeah.
the actor, Lance Kerwin.
Yeah.
He is not good. I will. He was
Yeah.
the one.
The Luke Skywalker mini-me.
Yeah, he's not very good in that.
I like a crew, and I like that in the newer one, it seems more like
yeah,
they have
towards the
assembled
end,
a
there's
crew
like- yeah.
to kind
Yeah.
of deal with the problem, whereas
Right.
there are so many people in that original. I fell asleep, and I was like, fuck this. And then the next day I went back and I rewound and then I rewatched where I had left off and I finished it. And when it did pick up, I was like, okay, this is going, this is cool. But a lot of the characters, there were just so many characters. I was just like, who's doing what and why do I necessarily care? I don't know why you would leave in the middle of a vampire epidemic to get a job interview in Boston. Seems unnecessary to me. I don't know why we need the story about Fred Willard cheating with the woman and then her getting beat up by the husband, and
because
then
it's Boom Boom Bonnie.
Yeah.
Because how else?
All I did was just like, oh, that's gross.
Yeah, and George DeZunza
I didn't
from
even get
Law and Order.
Does he die? I don't even know if I get to see him die.
No, they leave.
I don't even get like resolution from him being a terrible person.
The abuser ends up surviving because he's smart and he leaves.
He gets up and goes. They drive away.
As does Kenneth McMillan, the Baron from Dune, as the constable there.
Oh yes,
he moves his
yeah. Oh yes, he was.
Oh yeah,
the
he's hightailing it out.
I always think of Armed and
Harkonnen.
Dangerous. The guy who was in Armed and Dangerous. That's the
Oh
only
man,
thing
we
I ever
got
remember him
a
from.
lot to say about this.
Flying fat man.
Sorry, Tito.
But yeah, no, that's about it. As far as I had never seen either, I'd never read the book. As far as like a vampire film goes, I like the remake. I'm an actor guy. I love Alfred Woodard. I didn't know that I liked Lewis Pullman that much, but I actually thought he was really good. I've never seen that kid that plays Mark.
Yeah,
I thought he was fantastic.
He was a kid. He was an actual.
Yeah,
kid.
and he was a kid, and I thought he was fantastic. And the guy who played Burke, I thought was very good also.
I liked him
Max,
a lot, and
right?
his story change
With
is
the Red Sox
dramatically
jacket.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a more
I liked him
pivotal
too.
character in both the series,
new-
in
yeah.
the original, and in the book.
Oh, and I liked Callahan. I'm not familiar with the character. I liked the idea of that alcoholic priest.
He's actually
Who has no faith, who's lost faith.
So Father Callahan has a sequel book in one of the Dark Tower series, is an actual follow-up to Salem's Lot, in which Father Callahan is still being trailed by vampires.
Oh, cool.
And he ends up meeting with the main characters of the Dark Tower. And so every one of these remakes and stuff that they kill off Father Callahan, I'm like, you can't kill off Father
You
Callahan.
can't.
He's going to help Rollins get to the Dark Tower.
They kill him off in the original too, right? Does he?
I think he
Well,
does
it's like
get
an
killed off in
off-screen kind of.
Yeah.
It just fades to black.
I'll
kinda
tell you
deal.
though, nothing beats Barlow showing up and smashing Mark's parents.
Oh, their heads together? Yeah.
like a freaking wrestler.
Clonk. Yeah.
I think they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You killed
did-
my parents. Oh, the way that guy talked.
Klingon bastard, you've killed my son.
We'll get on that. All right, shall we get to categories? Sounds
Yeah,
like
let's
we
do
have
it.
some
Better
fun
one.
ones. Okay, here we go. Starting with Dean, better lead.
Better lead. Depends on who you're calling the lead.
All right, let's call Ben Mears.
Ben Mears is the lead.
And let me just say this very quickly because here's what the story is about: Ben Mears coming to town and seeing all this shit happen and no one noticed. And while I usually love groups together fighting an evil, I did not like it in this because it took away from Ben Mears his whole point, his whole being there. So that's it. Go for it.
And taking away the Marston house.
Yeah.
Like that's
They don't
it's
even-
funny
they
because as a fan of the book and the original miniseries, it is hard to look at the new one different. It was like, oh, well, the story's about the Marston house,
Right.
like,
And
you
Ben Mears,
and
yeah.
Ben Mears, and you completely take all of that away from it. I'm gonna give David Soul like that because I actually forgot who played. Like I only saw it a few weeks ago. And I had completely forgotten it was the guy from Outer Range that played that part. And like, just, it went right by me. Whereas David Soul, it's very 70s. I 100% agree. Like everyone does have those
Right.
cuts. I mean, I kind of had that cut. Like in,
Blonde, big glasses.
Yep. I had the Middle Eastern look of that. Yeah. So it was, I still like him better because I couldn't remember even who played the part.
Okay.
And that's where I kind of fall down on a lot of these characters is I couldn't remember anything about them. You know, I could only remember what I didn't like. I couldn't remember what I did, you know. So,
Yeah.
So I'll give it to David Soul.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with David Soul also. Only, I'm a big fan of the original. I like the book, and I like the character of Ben Mears. I like the whole reason of him coming to Salem's Lot and his relationship the Marston house and the trauma that happened there. I like the actor in the new one. I loved him in Outer Range. I don't think he does a bad job, but I think he's wasted with lack of story. Like a lot of the characters that I really liked in the new one, you don't get to know really enough about them, with the exception of Mark, who I think is fantastic in the new one. But David Soul, it takes a while getting there, but his whole arc throughout the movie is fantastic. He's the outsider. He's the one everybody's looking at when the disappearances start. And because this happens over time, he has a harder time adjusting to everything. And he's slowly figuring out the vampire thing. And I think that's cool, because here he is in the town, already traumatized by his events in the Marston house, which they totally just overlook, which sucked. That's
what? I don't even remember if it was explained in the original.
It is explained in the video. Do you remember? He's in the restaurant at dinner with Matt Burke, and he's talking about his backstory, going into the Marston house and seeing Hugh B. Marston.
Oh, yes, his ghost.
The ghost.
Yeah.
The ghost. And in the book, it's even explained in even more detail. And the new one just kind of glosses over it. So having that happen to him, and then on top of it, he realizes this town is being overrun with vampires, and he has to confront it. Already coming in here to confront, inner demons. That's fantastic. And I think David Soul does a great job.
Yeah.
I think he plays this mild-mannered guy. He's like you said, he's John Denver, just a folksy kind of guy, stuck in a very, very, nasty situation. Whereas this new actor, he, from Outer Range, I can't remember his name.
Louis Pullman.
Louis Pullman.
Bill Pullman's kid.
Bill Pullman's kid.
I think
he looks just like him.
Yeah. Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Louis Pullman.
that.
Okay, young Billy Pullman there. I think he's a great actor, but again, I think he's forgotten, because too many people have come into play and have figured out the vampires all at once, that it becomes like an adult monster squad, and it just doesn't work for me.
Right. Agreed.
Derek?
I'm torn. I'm very torn because, and here's the reason. David Soul feels out of place in this role. The character, like many of Stephen King's main characters, is a writer, and he doesn't look like an everyman writer.
Interesting.
He looks like a producer was like, no, we need to get a good-looking 70s actor to play the main role. I don't mind him as the main lead. He's a better lead in the movie. But, the scenes with him and Bonnie Bedelia, I'm like, he's not that much of a hunk. They're treating him like he's this hunk, and he's not a hunk.
Well, I get very little chemistry from them when they're on screen together.
The 70s, you took what you could get back
Have
then.
you met Tom Atkins?
Well, I mean,
That's true. Tom Atkins would have had
but I
Bonnie
think
Bedelia in
I
bed
think
the
it's the
moment.
hairline.
Sprawled
I think
out.
it's the hairline
Is it
that really just bothers me the most. But
HR puffin stuff.
I prefer Louis Pullman, the way that they did him as a writer. He makes a better writer.
He looks like a
He's
writer.
more believable as
okay.
an everyman, someone the character, but he plays it so fucking boring that I got to give it to David, because at least that was entertaining, and he leads the movie. He's got strength behind him. This he's just I don't know, and I'm nothing against him. I've never watched Outer Range, so I don't really know.
Outer Range was a cool. Cool
he's a
series.
good actor.
I haven't seen his body of work, but I
Top
will
Gun
say
Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick, yeah.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
Wait, who was he in either of those?
I forget the character. He's got glasses in Top Gun Maverick, though. He's not a pilot. He's one
Top
of the guys
Gun.
that
He
sits in the
was
back.
Lieutenant. He was Bob.
He's Bob. Yeah, his codename Bob.
He was one they couldn't come up with a nickname.
Yeah.
And he was Miles Miller in Bad Times at El Royale.
Yeah,
Talk
he's
about-
like the bellhop.
I
the
remember
junkie.
the bell. Yes,
Yeah, the
okay,
junkie.
all right. So he's a good actor,
Drug
He is a good
abuser.
actor.
but he's
Talk
not in
about-
this movie.
Not being able to tell guys apart. The Outer Range, all the young guys on Outer Range.
Oh, no.
I have no idea who's
Yeah.
who. I constantly have to go
The only
back.
one I recognized was the one from
Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
which
David's
one from-
partner.
Oh, David's.
he's
yeah.
in it?
Oh, he's on that show?
Yeah.
That's a good show.
Yeah, he's just boring. He's not. He doesn't really I don't. It's funny because I kind of had the complaint that he's David Soul is too. He's not enough everyman. He's more like a leading man. And yet this kid, I don't like it because he's not enough of a leading man.
Interesting.
He doesn't feel. I don't feel like he has the strength to carry a movie by himself. No offense to him, But
Well, they thought that too because they surrounded him with other
he's a
people.
wet fish. He's a wet fish.
Oh, the old wet fish.
He's an old wet fish.
That's my opinion on
I
that.
like
one.
that.
But, so I'm going to give it to David.
All right, Brian.
I also give it to David Soul. I think he made for a more solid and believable Ben Mears than Bill Pullman's kid did.
Yeah, imagine if Bill Pullman had did it, though.
Oh, Bill Pullman would have Lone Starred the shit
Yep.
all over that town.
He would have had a great speech. Yeah.
Our
Salem's Lot.
He was in that movie that didn't make any sense. Lost Highway.
Yeah, you got
Remember
to
that?
narrow that down. Oh, yeah. He's done a few of those. Tito.
Yeah, odd man out, man. I like Lewis Pullman. Something about him. He's fun to me. I think Mark is the hero.
Thank you.
So when I watch it, I'm like, this kid's got so much more charisma and more
Totally.
going on
Absolutely.
than everyone.
I love
like,
that he was a monster kid.
yeah,
Agreed.
right. They
Yeah.
need him. I
was
think
a
he's the
one-man
catalyst
monster
to it
squad.
all. Like
And that kid has no fear. He's just like, all right, well, I guess I got to kill
I gotta
this
kill
motherfucker.
this dude.
I know.
Yeah, it's wild. Imagine where he came from. Like how crazy it was there.
Right?
And he was like, yeah, I had to kill him. He wasn't gonna let me out.
The problem was Mark was the best character. His story was awesome. Had it not been Salem's Lot, but this kid fighting vampires in his town, running
Yeah.
over the familiar in the car,
Yeah.
I would have dug it more
Right.
Yeah.
because he's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's great. So I like that he is. Everybody's having trouble dealing with it, even the people who have experienced it. But Mark, because he is so convinced and just no, this is just what's happening.
Right.
That they have no choice but to say, oh yeah, he's absolutely right.
Very
This is what's happening.
matter-of-factly.
Very matter of factly. I need holy water. I got to kill some vampires.
I'm just stopping in to
Either
get some supplies.
You come with me or you stay behind. That's on you. But I'm going to do this thing. But yeah, Ben Mears is the lead. I like Lewis Pullman. I struggle with, and I've said this before, and I always do, older film, and I just feel like acting has gotten so much better over the years, where the only standout actor in the original is James Mason, and he's only in the movie for about 7 minutes.
I don't know. I'm gonna say George Dizon's is freaking awesome.
I think
in that, though. When he's got Fred Willard at gunpoint and he's like, I like your shorts.
Yeah.
You must like him too, keeping him on. Oh, man, he's great. You stay right there,
Nobody
puss.
really gets
I love that.
in that movie.
Puss.
So yeah, I'm going Pullman.
All right,
Pullman.
Pullman.
One for
All right,
Pullman.
one
All
for
right.
Pullman.
Interesting.
4 for Soul. This is fun. Next one. Better story.
Better story.
What's the better story, Dean?
Oh, absolutely the original. It had a story like that. It could. I mean, again, we're comparing a miniseries to a movie, so
Yeah.
it's kind
Sure.
of unfair on both of them. And again, I'll refer back to the book, and because I think it does translate to the first movie, is the story is about the deterioration of a town, and you can put as much. It is, like you said, it is an all-white town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can put as much onto that.
Yeah,
as,
you can read as much into it as you want.
Having this guy come to town and he's a stranger and suddenly everybody's suspicious of him, when really this small town that, even though it's the idyllic main town, it has a history.
Yeah.
Right. That is terrible.
Yeah, it's already rotting from within.
Right.
That's right.
And if you even go back to Jerusalem's lot, it's even creepier.
Yeah.
So I think completely taking that out of the new one does a disservice to, and also adding to the story. I rarely disagree with you, Tito, but I will on this one that I thought all the characters, or almost all the characters, had such texture in the old one, and it's a thing that I don't like about contemporary movies as compared to old ones is the casting of aging actors much more in a wider variety of older character actors. Ed Flanders from St. Elsewhere. I mean, it's like everyone in it I knew from different stuff too.
Yeah. Right.
And just hearing like all the different voices, and we'll get to the MVPs later on, but there's so many for me like just great character actors in that I really got into all those characters.
So what I find interesting about the remake, it's very similar to me in that sense, where it's a movie full of character actors.
Yeah,
with
true.
Alfre Woodard and the actor who plays
I had actually
Callahan,
forgotten Alfre
who's
Woodard
been in
was
so
in it,
many
but-
things.
Well, and like one of the
nobody is a star in that film.
one of the
Yeah.
women is the mother, Nicole Kidman's mother from Far and Away.
Really?
Oh no, that was the original. She's in the. She's in the original. Never mind. Never mind. Sorry.
I just don't think they gave him enough to do
Yeah.
to bite on,
Yeah.
you know, in that.
Yeah.
So, what was the question? Which one has the better story? Yeah,
Better story.
so the old one. The old one.
All right. I agree. Better story goes to the old one. The new one had some great moments to it, and there were a couple of changes in the story that if I did like it. I am a huge Alfre Woodward fan. She's one of my favorite actresses, always has been, actually, since Scrooged. And I
Absolutely.
love her in First Contact. I just think she's a great actress, and I really like that she was the Doctor in this. And they gave the Doctor more to do in this one, as opposed to the, I think it's Ed Flanders, who plays, I don't know who plays the original Dr. Hayward, Dr. Norton.
It is Ed Flanders. I
Is
think
it
they've
Ed
got
Flanders?
a couple. Because he was.
I have this up here.
They got a lot of character actors in the 70s.
Because there's a couple different doctors in it. Because
Ed Flanders.
Ed
yeah.
Flanders, not to be confused with Ned Flanders.
Oakley dokley.
Oakley dokley vampire. But I found him in the original to be very boring compared to Alfre Woodward. If the casting changes go to the new one, it's Mark and it's the Doctor. And I like Matt Burke in the new one. I have nothing against Matt Burke but I think Matt Burke in the new one was great. But again, wasted.
Yeah.
Wasted. I thought he was.
Which one was Matt Burke?
The teacher
Reds, the
with
teacher.
the Red Sox jacket.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Who again gets more to do and has more of a pivotal role in the
this
original film and the story. But for the same reasons I already mentioned, and Dean had said it, there's more of a story in the original, and it is a mini series versus a movie. But I feel like you could have taken a little more time to get to know the characters in that movie. There was a lot in the remake, which was your standard horror, dragging out a dark shadowed shot and waiting for a jump scare, where you could have just tacked on a little more, get to know some of these characters, so that when they become vampires, it's more freaky.
Yeah.
There's very little to none of that, and so there's more of a story. There's more character development in the old ones, even if they all don't necessarily interest you. You know who they are. You know what they're doing in town, what they were like even before the vampires came in. You have all the
angry jealous boyfriend,
boyfriend, Ned Tibbetts, completely wiped out in I don't even
the
think
crazy
they
old
did
man.
anything.
Yeah, that's
Weasel
old man.
Phillips, again, Boom Boom Bonnie, and I just like saying that.
Fred Willard.
And Fred Willard, that whole story. I mean, there is crap, like you said, Dean. There's stuff already going on in the underbelly of that town. A seemingly normal town with all its dark secrets, and then vampires to boot,
Right.
So where in this one, half of the characters are just pushed aside or they're mentioned very quickly, and then, well, there it is.
And there you have it. You want to package it.
So it goes to the original for me.
Yeah, I mean, I got to give it to the original. The story itself is pretty straightforward. At first, I didn't like a lot of the changes that they had made in the new one. And then I kind of didn't mind it. Like the fact that they started out, they kind of, like they brought the how it opens with them delivering the box. I kind of like that. I didn't like it at first. I'm like, oh, they changed it. But then I'm like, well, then it makes more sense because there was an attack in the original before that scene. And it's like, all right, so was he already there? Is this just the dirt?
That was Straker. Straker does the first attack,
right,
and carries the young Glick boy to
as an
altar.
offering, right?
For Barlow, who's making it. That always confused me. Too.
Yeah, so it was like they kind of eliminated that confusion. It kind of sets it off, But at the same time, it's the fact that you don't get the feel that you get from the original with all the side characters.
Yes.
One thing I noticed that when I was watching it, and granted it took place before this movie, but totally all I could think of was Needful Things. I'm like, this is so much like Needful Things, the store, and instead of a vampire, it's the devil, and but like you've
Stephen King.
But like Needful Things is one of my favorite books of his, and it's because of all the different stories, all these different rivalries going on between the different characters in town. And I definitely got that vibe from this because, especially with the Boom Boom and the, that whole side story had nothing to do with the vampires. It had no payoff. There was, it did. It had a payoff, but
no payoff.
You don't really, well, I mean, the scene itself was a payoff, I think. Him holding him to, at gunpoint and telling him to get lost. And then he goes in, you assume that he probably,
he gets vamped
threw
out.
or slapping.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like you don't know. Like you don't know if they left after that or
I have to reread the book. In the
book
I
they
think-
leave.
Oh, do they leave in the book?
Or he leaves at least, right?
No, they drive away. They leave in town.
they
They drive out of town. She's got a black eye.
Yeah, in the original movie.
Yeah.
In the book, I think more people even turn.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more.
And the way
vampires.
Stephen King does it at the end, in going to the end, is in the original movie, David Soul and Lance Kerwin are this now vampire slaying team.
Yeah.
And it starts with that and it ends with it, and some of the vampires have escaped. In the book, I believe it's the same way. It opens up with
them
Ben
returning
Mears
to
and
town.
Mark
Right.
hunting vampires. Or toward the ends of Salem's Lot, Stephen King devotes like maybe a page chapter to each character getting killed by a vampire.
Yeah.
It's very cool how it's set up. So
Which I think is one thing that the newer one got right, because there were definitely more townspeople that were like clearly turned into vampires.
Shit ton of vampires. in there.
By the
absolutely.
end of the new
Yes,
one.
but the thing that sucked about it was we didn't know who they were.
Right.
Yeah, they were
Right.
I would like
extras
to have
in
known.
yeah.
I would have liked
They're
to have
fucking
known
fodder,
her.
man. Like every vampire
Yeah.
movie. That
Yeah.
shit don't matter. They're fucking.
So
I
yeah,
want,
so
you know, who was there? Where's Eva Miller?
The
Did
more
she become
vampires
a
you have, the
Yeah.
more you can kill.
That's true.
Right.
That's a good point.
Nice.
Brian, what
Nice.
were you?
I think they both pretty much told the same story. I mean, they both followed the source material, but I have to give it to the 1979 miniseries because it was able to take its time, building up characters, developing those characters, establishing mood and tone, and it didn't need to excise a lot of the source material to fit a 2-hour runtime like the new movie did. So I'm giving it to the original miniseries.
All right.
All right, I man out
Tino.
again. I'm gonna go with the HBO Max version only because that extra stuff. As I'm watching that movie, I was like, well, I could just read the fucking book.
Okay.
Why am I watching this movie? I don't care that she's having an affair with Fred Willard. I want to know why vampires are in town. And if you want that kind of explanation, then yes, you're always going to get it better from the book.
Right.
So when I'm watching it on a screen, I'm just like, why did you just waste? Also, I'm the hour and a half guy. You just ate like 5 minutes of my life. Like I can't get that back. So when I see a 2-hour film, I'm like, well, damn. I think they condensed it as well as could be condensed in a 2-hour period and giving me the highlights, which is kind of what I was hoping. And I thought the original was fine. You know, like It is such a phenomenal television movie.
It is.
It's a two-parter.
Yeah.
The first half is amazing. The second half is just as good.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't drag anywhere for me. This movie, the first half, I was like, damn, I don't know if I would have watched the second half. In 1979, I
You
might
wouldn't
have
have come
watched
back
the
then,
first
no.
half, unless they hit me with something at the end where I was like, okay, interesting, maybe I'll check it out. But I might not have seen part 2 the next day.
Well, you might have because there was nothing like it at the time.
True, yeah,
This
it's
was,
possible.
you know, horror series was not a common thing
Yeah.
at all, and it was very.
Mark, you gotta remember. If
I
it
know.
was Tito back then, he would have had like plans Sunday night as opposed to watching part 2. We
No,
did
I
not.
told-
So we were like,
I watched part 2 of it. I watched them both, and I was like, "Oh wow, that scared the shit out of me."
he's
And
gonna
was a
record it
TV.
on the VCR and then watch it
That's
later.
it. But yeah, I don't.
He's got a date at the
watching it,
roller
I was
rink.
like, I don't know if I would have watched the second part. So I like seeing how they, based on that original, how they were able to kind of take some pieces out.
Now I don't remember when it was on originally. Do you guys remember where they cut it? Like when?
I was trying to figure that out while watching
where they-
Salem's
Yeah,
Lot.
okay.
If I recall correctly, it's right when James Mason. Oh, actually, you know what it is? It's when George DeZunza leaves with Boom Boom Bonnie. They drive out of town. The truck passes by the antique store, and the music starts playing, and James Mason's at the window, and he pulls the curtain back and puts the sign out, opening soon. I want to say, if I recall
okay.
correctly, that's where they
that
cut
sounds
it.
about right.
Okay.
That's brilliant.
Now what's funny is for years you could only watch the cut version, like because they didn't have the. Because when I was excited when they came out with the two VHS
Yeah.
VHS
Yeah. Yep.
version of it, and I believe I have the single VHS. I'll
Cassette.
have to see
Yeah.
how they cut it down to an hour and 12 minutes. So
Yeah.
you might like that one.
That's
Yeah.
how. Oh, okay. They cut that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's a lot of
pretty
cutting.
short.
They release it theatrically in
Yeah.
Europe and they cut it down.
Yeah,
to like
I
just
There's no
actually-
scene where she's like, "I got
Yeah.
a job interview tomorrow." And how did the job interview go? It went great. I might take the job.
Yeah,
Give us the fucking vampires, dude.
Take the job.
Come on.
I have the Italian poster.
Holly Gennaro.
Oh, yeah?
I love you.
Holly Gennaro is in Needful Things.
In Needful Things as well, yes.
I've never seen that. She's in that movie
Yeah,
too?
her and Ed Harris.
Max
Oh,
von
maybe I
Sydow,
have seen that
Such
movie.
a good
J.T.
movie.
Walsh, Amanda Plummer.
Amanda Plummer, yeah.
Shit, that's a great...
Any of you
Amanda Plummer's
motherfuckers
character
move
is
and
my
I'll
favorite
execute
character.
every
Was that a
law.
TV movie too?
No,
No.
That was
a movie.
theatrical?
Who the hell directed that one? I want to say... I feel like I know who directed that one.
Chris Columbus? No, I'm kidding.
While you're looking that up, we'll point out that Elijah Cook is also a classic horror guy, also a big Western guy who played the drunk in this.
Oh, yes.
He was in
Yes.
the House on Haunted Hill. And
Oh,
it's funny,
nice.
we watched House on Haunted Hill. The next night we turned on, and I'm spacing on the name of it, another like very cheap 70s movie. And he was in
in it.
that one, and
Aren't they all?
then put on this one, and he's in this
He's
one
a who.
too.
Fraser Clark Heston.
Okay, don't know who it is.
No idea.
Never mind.
He only directed 5 things.
That's all we needed to
One
do.
of them was Needful Things. The
5
Crucifier
Needful
of
Things.
Blood, TV movie, Treasure Island, TV film,
No.
Mother Lord, unaccredited.
Lord!
Alaska,
Oh, I remember,
I remember
Alaska.
Alaska.
Yeah, piece of crap.
and The Search for Michael Rockefeller.
Oh, they sound unwatchable.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, now we know he hit a home run.
He got a home run
with
with Needful
and
Things. I
that's
like
it.
Needful Things.
All right, here we go. Continuing.
All right.
Better special effects. This I'm curious to know what you think of this one.
This is a tough one because
Yeah.
there's the makeup and the Barlow looked better in the original.
Yeah,
I think so, too.
And the vampires I thought looked better in the original. So I'm sure there were cooler, big. I mean the as my wife pointed out, the really cool sun effect at the end. You know,
Yeah.
the screen blocking. Although
Yeah.
I wished that had been a different vampire movie because that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to give it to. I thought the more. I don't know if you can say better, but more effective effects were in the original. Like I even thought the Glicks floating at the window.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Looked
that's very
better in
cool.
the original. Like
agree.
because that scene traumatized me as a child.
And
Like 'cause it was
traumatized
in
a lot of kids.
It was in the commercials, and
Yeah.
it's hard to look at this movie without putting it into the perspective of the time, which kind of makes this comparison a little unfair in
Sure.
any of it because it's hard to take. I think what I'm looking for in the remake is a modern, like using today's technology and a better streamlined story and
Yeah.
more contemporary acting to make a better movie, which this didn't deliver. So
Right.
and especially when it came to the effects, I think that the original practical stuff was actually creepier.
Agreed.
Again, I'm gonna say same thing. Same thing. The original Count Barlow was a frightening looking thing, and this one you could just didn't do nothing for me. It was just cheap imitation. The faraway shots of the vampires in the new one were very effective. I really liked that. And then when you got up close,
Right.
they looked good, but they did not look great. And nothing beats practical effects. And the short answer is I like the original effects better. The Glick boys in the original are very frightening. The way they float there, and there's not a lot of extra,
To be fair, though,
To be fair.
when Barlow's standing in the brightly lit kitchen, it does look kind of goofy
You're
out
right.
of place.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah, that's mine.
So I'm gonna give it to the original, even though there's some shots in the new one that I really dug. The scene where the kid is he's in like the black cloak thing, and he's peeking through, and he sees Barlow coming down the stairs. Those glimpses of Barlow, way superior than the original. But the minute they show him like full on close up, it looks way too CGI, way too
Too clean,
right,
smooth,
right. It was
yeah.
it looked fake as opposed to an actual guy with vampire makeup on. Even the fact that the first time you see Barlow in the original, it's in that brightly lit kitchen, doesn't even bother me. I think that it's just scarier looking, and it's totally the Nosferatu from from what we do in the shadows. Like they
Pita.
yeah,
It's Pita.
totally. But yeah, and then the eyes and stuff. I liked the way that the original did it better. I I disagree with you guys about the kids. I prefer Ralphie in this one than in the new one. His floating scene, and even just the way that kid looked. I think it's the same kid that plays Homelander's son.
This is brother,
right? Or is it his brother?
They're twins. Yeah,
twins.
I didn't know they were twins.
Oh, no kid. We thought it was the kid from Homelander.
Right.
Yeah,
so like I like that kid. I think he's creepier looking than either of the two in the original. Because when Ralphie, the Ralphie one is the older brother, and in the original he looks just, I don't know, like the black curly hair, like he looks like he just came from a bar mitzvah.
The pudgy face. I can see that. I can see that.
Just like
a vampire just bit my finger.
But young Ralphie Glick floating, young Danny Glick. I think is great looking.
Yes.
The
And
way
like I said,
floating at the window, smiling,
and like I said with the opening thoughts, it's so iconic.
Yeah.
But again, so is the Marlowe. Like none of the imagery except for that staircase scene through the bag really stuck with me from this movie.
Yeah.
Nothing visually stuck and was like, oh yeah, remember that looked really cool.
I don't know, when he walked out after Susan and then turned around and then turned back and all the vampires were standing there, I was like, sick.
That's
fucking sick.
I will say, I will give a shout out to the new movie when Mark is trapped in the fort and all the kids are crawling.
I was just thinking about that.
Great scene.
But very
great scene.
CGI.
It was, but it was still a good scene.
Yeah.
Brian, what about you?
I'm giving it to the original's practical effects as well. I love the makeup for Barlow. It seemed way more believable. And the kid floating outside the window, done without any CGI. I read he was actually like strapped into like a crane, like a camera crane with a harness, and they had him hovering outside.
That's
the window.
cool.
No wires, and they filmed it backwards when he came to bite the other brother.
Oh, right, because the
mist was like when
comes
you watch him
from him.
Yes, exactly. But it's floating out the window. It's
Right.
not. It's going backwards from like his direction.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It just makes it so otherworldly. I just love those simple old school camera tricks. Totally. And it totally worked. So yeah, I'm giving it to the original.
Tina,
Yeah, I
tell
mean,
us
you
tell us
don't-
about the special effects of the new one.
I like them, but you don't have them if you don't have the original.
That's true.
Because they're taking from that source.
Yeah.
Which is done really, really well. There are things I like that they do. I think the crosses lighting up is fucking badass.
I like that too. I did like that.
It doesn't translate in the original when he tapes the tongue depressors
yeah,
together, and I'm
exactly.
just like,
that's an
that's
old
dumb.
hammer move.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
Peter.
exactly.
I don't love
Peter
it.
Cushing with the candlesticks.
Yeah.
But I love that in the newer one, he actually has to start praying, and then the shit lights up, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he just made a fucking cross. That's sick.
I like
That's badass.
the light up cross is okay, but when they start using it, the vampires are getting like air smacked around.
Oh, I love that
I
shit.
didn't like that. I
Like,
thought it was too goofy.
Oh, that's like you can't be in here anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
that's
the recoil.
that's
Yeah.
our favorite vampire trope.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not invited anymore.
I'm with Tito on
You
that.
gotta go.
That's renouncing or evoking the
That was the same thing, though. It threw him right out of the house.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
that was
That's
awesome.
from the original as well. With
Yeah.
Matt Burke and the original Mike Ryerson when he's in the chair and
I
going,
rescind
Yeah.
my invitation.
"Look at me, teacher." Oh, you can't beat that.
I thought that was great, but I liked the idea because that's as far as I know the first time I've seen a vampire film where the cross wasn't just like, it was actually just like,
So you like the
bam, I just hit you with
power.
some shit.
Yeah.
You're I'm gonna throw you across the room. Especially because like the holy water never plays a part in the
Power
newer
of Christ
one.
compelled you.
Yeah.
It does in the original, but only in the beginning and
I
the
love
end.
that idea in the beginning too, with the holy water. I don't think it's ever been used in a vampire movie where it burns David
Yeah.
Soul's hand and it gleams, meaning
It
a
lights up.
vampire's approaching, like a PKE meter for vampires.
I like that idea, early warning
Yeah.
system or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would the effects I'm going to give to the original because you don't have the newer one. They're clearly drawing from that inspiration.
All right, good. Okay, here we go. Better overall cast. Dean.
I gotta start again. Okay.
Yeah, you started with it.
I'll say the older one.
Always
Like
you.
because again, I'd even forgotten Alfred Woodward is in it. I
Yeah,
love her. I
me
think
too.
she's fantastic. The woman does not age.
No, she doesn't.
She is
We were
eternal.
Black don't
saying
crack.
that.
Yeah.
We were saying she looks amazing still.
Yeah.
She's
No,
amazing.
it's-
She's
I-
fucking
She always will. She is. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Vivica?
No, I thought the overall the other cast, although I I really do like the kid in the
Mark,
new one.
yeah.
I thought he was. I would interchange them. Like I did really like him. I like the idea that he's already friends with the other kids in town better from the original
Then
than
the new, I didn't
yeah,
like that either.
I didn't think it
right
needed to be
because
the new
again,
kid.
it's less scary. It's more scary if you were a kid in a town you've grown up with, and all of a sudden they're disappearing and coming back and tapping at your window. Yeah,
Oh, but I like the idea of be our friend when
Yeah.
you're the new kid.
Yeah.
There is that too.
That much
Yeah.
scarier when it's just like, oh well, they want me to be part of what they have going on. I don't really know anybody here. I don't know. I kind of like that idea.
That's
of
all
it.
right.
Yeah.
It also
forgiven.
feels a tiny bit more cliche in that because it's
Oh, for
always
sure.
the new kid. Like that.
Yeah.
True. Beat up.
Yeah, so the original, because it is again character actors that being a '70s kid like that I grew up with that I just really love.
Question about the book. I don't know if you know. Is there a bully in the book
No,
that bullies him?
I don't
No.
believe there is.
Okay, because as I was watching it, I was like, "Is this just like a Stephen King thing?"
This is
So there is no. Okay,
that was thrown in there. Mark,
Okay.
Mark Petrie in the book and in the original. Has
he's
grown
already
up in
part of the town.
He's
okay.
part of the town.
They all know.
I like the better cast of the original, though. I love Alfred Woodward, and I loved Mark. And
Erd.
I think it's Woodard.
Yeah,
Woodard.
Woodard. What
Yeah.
am I saying? Woodward. I'm
Woodward.
sorry.
Yeah,
Woodard.
like
I'm
Woodward
sorry.
and Bernstein.
Well, she
Yeah.
was awesome as the doctor. Deep Throat. And I like Mark
Sorry.
in the new movie much better. I like the mom in the new movie who becomes the new familiar.
Oh, with the shotgun. Yeah. What a
I'm
lunatic.
sorry. That was hilarious. It needed this woman because everybody else, every other supporting character, minus the ones I just mentioned, were fucking boring. Susan Norton's mom becoming
Deborah
a familiar.
Christopherson. Yeah.
Because in the original, she's very Christian in the book. She doesn't approve of homosexuality. It's mentioned in the movie, kind of, and it's brought on. What's the book about? And Bonnie Bedelia.
It's not one of those.
Yeah, Bonnie Bedelia says, "Well, his new book is about two men," and she goes, "Not one of those,"
Right.
So she's a little,
She's voting for Trump.
Yeah.
right?
She's a little
Exactly.
prudish.
She's voting for Trump. But other than those three, again, I like character actors, and I think I'm just more familiar with the old school character, Jeffrey Lewis, and oh God, what's his
What's
name?
the
Who
dude's
plays
husband with the
Weasel?
shotgun?
George
DeZunza.
Oh, Zunza.
I loved
Yeah.
Fred Willard. I loved.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of the name who plays. I can't think of his name who plays Weasel, but he's in the original.
That's
Elijah Cook.
Elijah Cook.
Elijah Cook. Okay, so it
Spelled
just
like
had-
Alicia.
Alicia
Yeah.
Cook. It had more of those kind of recognizable characters for me, and I have to go with that one.
I'm the same. Despite the over the top acting, it definitely had a more memorable cast. I think the newer one is way more forgettable. It's sad because you get a pretty good actor to take the James Mason role. That dude was in Game of Thrones.
Oh, Paolo is
Yeah.
Asbeck.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
And-
killed way too
right,
soon.
didn't do
Stricker?
shit in this movie. Like
Yeah.
he was useless. And this is coming from me who really wasn't that impressed with James Mason in the original.
I don't understand what
Exactly.
what problem you had with me, Derek.
He had because he had, you know why? Because he had such a reputation, and you're right. Once he like gets kind of lethal, that like then he gets good. Then it's kind of like, oh, the role's getting juicy, and he's like really biting into it.
Yeah, but the cat and mouse scene
all the-
between him and the constable, Kenneth McMillan, with
yeah.
the whole suit. Ciao, that's a familiar Italian saying. Am I under
I'm gonna need that dry
suspicion?
clean because
I've got. Can
I
we see the
expect it.
suit? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got two suits at home. Oh, you can't fucking beat that.
That was
I
great.
didn't know you're Italian. I'm not. The word. is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
no,
you,
it's all
Derek.
right. Just original cat. I agree. Like there are characters here and there that are better in the newer one that I like better.
Yeah.
But overall, I think if you took those ones and replaced the old cast, you still have the majority of the old cast, and that's why they
You got to take the new Mark and the new Doctor.
the new Doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other ones
Alfre
too.
Woodard.
I think I'd probably.
Yeah,
Woodard.
It's funny that Alfre Woodard and Ed Flanders, who played the Doctor in the original,
Yeah.
she plays the Doctor in this one. They were both on
Both
St.
doctors
Elsewhere
on
together.
St. Elsewhere.
I'll be damned.
About
I-
doctors.
That's a wonderful coincidence.
Also,
Did you
with
do
Ed
that?
Begley, it all
Oh
comes
my
back
God.
around.
The inventor of the electric car.
That's
My
right.
gosh.
Bagley Jr.
Where was
That
that
son of a
big
gun.
Lives in a house made of aluminum cans.
That's that's where he gets all his
Can you not
electricity.
like me, Derek? I'm so good.
Broccoli, my enemy.
Vile weed.
Brian.
What's your name? Brian.
Yeah.
What does he want?
Mine is.
Where do you stand?
I like the new cast fine, but you can't beat David Soul, James Mason, and Bonnie Bedelia. I got to
You
give it
can.
to the original.
Tito says you can.
Yeah, you can like whoever you like.
I
Oh,
like
all right,
both of
never
them, but
mind.
I think the edge goes to the original.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I like the new cast better, except for James Mason, and I like Jeffrey Lewis because I like Jeffrey Lewis, not necessarily because I think he's great in the movie.
He's
know
great
what?
in that movie.
I like Bonnie Bedelia because I like Bonnie Bedelia, not necessarily because I think she's good in this movie.
It took me like forever in the new one to recognize was Bill Patterson as the sheriff there.
Will Sadler.
Will Sadler.
Will Sadler, yeah.
I get those two
I
mixed up all the
forgot he
time.
was in
Yeah.
that.
God, he's shown up in so much
Yeah.
Stephen King and horror stuff. Bill Sadler.
Yeah,
Yep.
he
Sadler.
was a little puffy in that.
He was
I
He
did
really
not-
was.
Yeah.
That's what it took me so long to figure
You
out.
know, he
that was
kind of
him.
reminded me of was T-1000. from
Robert Patrick.
Oh, really?
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
He's got the Robert Patrick bloatiness.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
Yeah.
people get old, man.
People get old and bloated. I'm right
not
there.
us.
Going to
Coming
the
for you.
striker
Young forever.
from the new one, I hated his performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
His like foppish, over the top,
Yeah.
like dancing around is like
Which is sad because
it's
he's a good actor.
Yeah, and it's a new villain thing that
Yeah.
has been like so done. Like every
Right.
BBC show now has to have like a completely flamboyant villain. No, like there's no subtle,
Yeah.
low key. You know,
Do you feel like that's a throwback though
I think the
No.
British hate the gays.
to another?
I think they love the gays. That's why they do
I
it.
don't think they hate
Yeah?
the gays.
What did
Why
the
they make them the
gays
bad
Yeah,
gays?
what did the
come
gays?
into the mix?
I mean, bad guys, not bad gays.
Yeah, I don't
They're
want
cool.
foppishess to be
They're cool.
misinterpreted on that. Like,
Okay, so
I didn't get the. I think he's in a little bit more than James Mason. I think he's in it just enough to be fine. Like I don't remember him,
you know,
and I don't
I think
necessarily
the part
remember the
that
performance
I
that
really
well.
disliked was the like I'm creating a sacrifice to my love.
yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah.
no,
He is-
you're just feeding him.
yeah,
Like you're
Yeah,
he's
right.
going Raul Julia
Yeah,
in Street Fighter. Of course, Guile.
To me, it was just a Tuesday.
I do like that performance. I hate that movie, but I do love watching him in that movie. That
Great
movie, that would suck without him, though. Don't you think?
No.
No, I think we'll get back to that.
It
think
sucks
it
with
might
him,
be
but I
better.
mean, I love it. I love it.
I think it might be better. I like the core new cast, so I would go with the new cast just because I
All
like
right.
those characters and I like how they're played.
You stand your ground, Tito.
The
In
like
the
the core hero group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the
Yeah, so you like
the
Mark
Straker
and-
character. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's always that. It's always going to be the hero for me.
Okay.
I like to see strong heroes, and I think there were strong heroes in this movie,
All right.
and I think they were played well.
No, do we are all of us but Tito looking at this through
Nostalgic
lenses?
No,
Like,
Yes,
is that-
absolutely.
like,
No, I mean, no, honestly, because
All I keep thinking is, if you guys had never read the book
Yeah.
or never seen the original, you might actually like this movie.
Yeah.
No, because
There wasn't so much
see the
history.
original
because
until
when
5 years ago.
Okay.
I was aware of it, obviously. I mean, it's been in the cultural zeitgeist since it came out.
right.
But that
All right,
being
you're
said,
out
I
then.
never saw the entire thing all the way through until 5 years ago.
So
Okay.
I saw the.
It's not that nostalgic.
I saw
for
the
me.
70s in high school, and I did not like it. My
Okay.
friends and I would get it. We'd make fun of it. We'd say it's long. We'd say it's boring.
Right.
And then as I got a little older and I started reading Stephen King books, I read Salem's Lot,
You
went
got to
back to
appreciate
it,
it
and I
more.
got to appreciate it more.
Yeah.
And then when I got into horror films and old school 70s horror films and miniseries or shows, or made-for-TV movies, I liked it even better. So I actually did not like it at first. I used to watch it and make fun of it, and then it grew on me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I wonder if it wasn't Salem's Lot, if it was just like Vampire X,
See
whatever.
that-
If
so
you might think it was like a funny.
I don't think so, because
No?
I think if this had been like, if this wasn't Salem's Lot and it was just some like random Shudder vampire movie, I wouldn't have enjoyed it. No.
See.
We're talking about the new one.
Yeah. The new one specifically.
Well,
the new one
because
specifically.
I like and I didn't really have the nostalgia because I couldn't remember the original.
Yeah.
I just remembered those three. Like,
Has
main
everyone here
images.
read the book?
I never read the book.
Okay, you never read it. You
So,
have.
I read the
Twice.
book.
You guys are
Twice.
fans.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
been-
remember if I read it or not. I
It's
read a
been
lot of Stephen
30
King in high
years
school,
since
but
I
I don't
read it.
know if
I
this
should,
was
but
one of
it
them.
was.
You
one
know,
I
guys,
loved.
it's available on Audible. You can download Audible
We have
right
a
now.
sponsor,
Get
yeah.
yourself a free credit like I did,
Yeah.
and got the Salem's Lot book with my Audible
Save
free
that to
credit.
the
Change
show.
that book at the beginning of the show to
I
Salem's
should.
Lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to have Mark record it.
Okay,
All right.
good.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Read by a proper
14,
British actor,
that's
James
right.
Mason.
So my only.
Once upon a time.
A long time ago. Poor Dean is trying to talk.
Sorry, go ahead.
Let him
I digress.
talk.
I
That is,
digress.
my only take on it is that I would entirely think that, but I also found it boring.
Okay.
And I think that that's where, like, even though obviously the old one has the pacing of a 70s TV movie, you know, pacing and everything back then is much longer. So it suffers from that. But I still found it more entertaining to watch 3 hours of that than an hour and a half of the new one. So it is impossible for me to take, you know, the trauma of seeing Danny Glick at the window when
Yeah,
I was
sure.
a kid.
Yeah.
But looking at it now, I wouldn't have wanted to be bored. And I think that's
Yeah.
my only, like, I can criticize something as much for not being what I want it to be.
Yeah.
But when I'm sitting there, like, looking at my phone through the second half of the movie, that's when I can
Oh,
say
okay.
that it's
Yeah.
probably
Yep.
not
I
successful.
mean, that's fair.
in
It's
mine.
not for you. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that, but when you're coming into it without any nostalgia for the new one, I can entirely see
Yeah.
why you would 100% like.
Yeah.
the
Also,
new one
I don't
better.
know what's something new or newish vampire-wise that I've seen. I can't
Midnight
even think of
Mass?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a fine show. It's
Yeah.
a good show. Movie
Abigail?
though. What about a movie?
Abigail?
That's cool. It's an hour and a half. It's bang bang bang.
Yeah.
This movie's bang 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 too.
Yeah, I thought Abigail kept me
Yeah.
more entertained.
There's tons of
though.
action.
Yeah. I love
There's
Abigail.
so many
Ren-
things happening in this
Renfield?
movie.
Why was I so
People liked
bored by it
Renfield?
then? Why was
There's-
I falling asleep?
I don't know.
See,
You were
as someone-
bored by Abigail?
No.
Which one?
As somebody who
It's
loves
Salem.
vampire
Salem's Lot.
movies,
Yeah.
finding a good new one is
hard.
It is hard. Like
Yeah.
there is never a good vampire movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're rare.
It's hard.
I think.
Yeah.
I did like Abigail.
I did.
I
did
thought
too.
this movie for 2 hours, which is too long for any movie.
Day Shift was pretty good. Did you watch Day Shift?
Day Shift was good.
the one with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
And Night
I would
Drive,
never
too.
see it again.
Night Drive was like
I-
bad, but like
Oh, I
fun.
thought that one was entertaining also.
I
Again, a
don't-
movie I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't
watched.
watch
I
again.
watched that
Chips.
Vortilac.
Oh, that's right. I
I
haven't
did
watched
watch
it
the
yet.
Vortilac.
Yeah.
I
Did you like
started-
it?
I liked it. It was
They
different
say
because
let
it's a,
him crash.
it's a period piece. It's in French.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I
But
hate
for the
the
most
French.
part, I liked it.
I read the-
Vortilac?
The Vortilac.
I
It's
read
on
the
Derek's
story.
Voodoo.
I have a book. I have like a book of great vampire stories, and that's in it.
Yeah.
The red eye or the plane one. The
Oh, not
vampires
Red Eye.
on a plane.
Vampires on a plane.
I've had it.
these
The one with
with
Samuel
these
Jackson?
I mean, these vamps
motherfucking
on my-
vampires on this motherfucking
Are you
plane.
talking Night Flyer? No, that
No.
was Stephen
No.
King and
No, it was on Netflix. It's a foreign movie.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
It
Dean.
has red in the title, I think. Either red or crimson.
Yeah.
It's a color.
Crimson Flight. No,
Yeah.
that's not it.
Crimson Skies.
Freaking Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Oh yeah, that was a
Is
fun
it
one.
Crimson
It might be
Skies?
Crimson Skies.
Yeah, there
I haven't
you go.
seen it.
The Demeter was good.
Demeter was
Yeah.
good.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Next
Night
category.
Flyer. Oh, that's 97.
No, no,
Blood
no.
Red Sky.
Miguel Ferrer.
Blood Red Sky.
Blood Red Sky.
That's what it is.
Really?
That's a really good vampire
I'll have
movie.
to check that out.
Vampires on a plane.
All right, here we go. Next question. Would either movie make your rotation?
Salem's Lot I managed to watch, and this is where we come down to like Tito's criticism. I do manage to watch the first half of it every year, and always get pulled away by the second part. So like
It'll
it
get
is on
ya.
my rotation, but I do
You try.
never have enough time, and it's not like I got bored with it. It is I'm done with what I was doing today,
Yeah.
and then didn't go back and finish it.
I watched the first half of it with the kids more than I watched the second half.
Yeah.
I love the first
Same
half
thing.
with the kids.
Same with the newer movie,
Love
too.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, love the kids version.
I like that. The original makes my rotation, but I don't sit down and watch it because the pacing is slow, and I look at the cool parts, and then usually I'm either drawing or cleaning or doing something else.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I do.
I got asthma.
I'm sorry. I got the emphysema.
I got the emphysema. That's what it is.
Nobody got time for
Ain't
that.
nobody got time for that. I got the emphysema.
The new one, I would give it another watch, but I don't think I'd go back to it anytime soon. So probably not.
Yeah, I would rewatch the first one again. I think you've got it right there, like with the good parts. So like it would be a background movie.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily do like it as like a yearly thing. The new one, certainly not. I don't know if I'll ever watch that again. Unfortunately, maybe to like
With a group of people, maybe
Or
there
maybe-
was stuff
no,
to make
I don't-
fun of.
Dude,
I don't
that
know. I
scene
don't
where he's
really-
running to the church and she throws him the steak and all of a sudden he gets flung up into the air and then the bodies drop.
Yeah.
That was a fucking sick kill.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
John Wick men mirror.
That was badass. I was like, oh, he just fucking landed on that.
Keep your John Wick
know what?
out of my
I love seeing that shit.
Salem.
I love stuff like that.
I'll
I like
rewatch
seeing
the second
vampire
one.
hunters hunt.
I think I'll rewatch the second one just to see if I can see any of the shit that Tito was.
It happened. It was there.
Oh, it's
No,
there.
no, like
He gets pulled up into
but
the
I mean,
air.
like if it has the effect on me
He
that
gets
it had on
dropped.
you,
With the fucking,
if I pay closer attention,
doesn't.
Yeah,
I
probably
watched a
not.
lot of Seagal growing up.
That's what
What about you,
Brian.
I have to say, even though it's longer, I'll go with the original if I'm going to watch either of them. So far, neither of them are in my rotation.
Okay.
But if I had to put one in, then it would be the original.
Yeah, I'm going with Brian. I might, if I had cable and this movie and the newer one was on, I might catch pieces of it. But in general, they're not movies that I would watch. Oh, shout out to my wife though, because she watched the whole thing with me and she was kind of into it.
Oh, there
which
you
I think
go.
made me
There you
like it
go.
more
Nice.
because she was kind of,
Yeah.
and she never watches any of this shit with me.
Yeah, Sarah watched the new one with me. She laughs at the original. She's kind of with you on the original. She doesn't. She thinks it's
Hokey.
boring.
Yeah.
With the exception of actually, it's the George.
Yeah, they're wearing like
DeSantis.
suede vests. I just can't. I just can't. do it.
Well, she likes the part when with George DeSantis, and I like his shorts. So I say that to her all the time in the summer. I was like, I like your shorts. And stop it.
But,
On my
But
shoulders.
she
makes
did.
me
She
happy.
did like the new one.
Yeah.
So I think she would agree with you on a lot of
But
it.
I am also, like Dean brought this up earlier. If a vampire movie comes out, I'm gonna see it, and I'm probably gonna force myself to like it probably a little bit more than I might normally.
yeah.
But this isn't a movie I don't think I would go back for.
But it
either
gets
of them.
bonus points.
Oh yeah, vampire
not
movies
like
always
it's-
got bonus points.
It's like a handicap.
No, it does have moments. It's got moments that are cool, and but it's not enough
Yeah.
for me. Okay, MVP for the original movie. Who's the MVP?
I'm spacing on his name, but the sheriff, the Baron Harkonnen.
Kenneth McMillan from
I
Stepford
loved
Wives
him.
and Dune.
Yeah,
He's
I
great.
loved him.
Oh, and he's doing a lot more than William Sadler is.
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He's
Doing a lot more, which I
Way
like.
more active.
There's
William Sadler was bumbling and stupid.
Well, and he has the whole
Yeah.
interchange with James Mason too. So like,
Yeah, there's-
you don't get that in this
There's
one.
a lot of play going on, like because he's suspicious of all the cat. Like
Everybody,
There's
yeah.
a lot of dynamics in the old one,
Right.
That you could have had in the 2 hours of the new one.
And the fact that he's on the case for so long, then runs with his family and that is more impactful
Yeah.
as well. Because, oh my God, even the guy who was on the case before other people were on the case and suspicious has given up.
Yeah.
That's a little more heart wrenching than
Yeah.
the bumbling sheriff who's like, "Look, I'm leaving. You can stay. I'm here to survive." Crash through a window.
Oh, I love that part. What's he doing?
so goofy.
Nothing. Not a thing. I thought that was fucking hysterical. What's he doing? Not a thing. Just crashing through this window.
So what else?
Would you rather have more sheriff or Father Callahan?
I like Bill Sadler, so I would have liked to have had more sheriff and a little better performance because I think he's wasted in it.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
I'll give you that. So your MVP was Kenneth McMillan. My MVP for the original is Toby Hooper. This was a hard thing to do back then, man. A horror miniseries, again, made for TV at a time when TV effects and budgets were not what they are now, by any stretch of the imagination. Toby Hooper pulled off something amazing.
Yeah.
This, for back then, this is an incredible miniseries.
Yeah.
Effects wise, story wise, I gotta give him props. He pulled off something really cool.
That's a good pick. I
Yeah.
like that.
Mine is Jeff Lewis. The Mike Ryerson character for me is my favorite character.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a
That
great
movie.
character, and which is why he needed to be the one to move the coffin,
Right,
Which he
right.
doesn't.
Because and that's the thing is like when he and Ned are delivering the crate
Ned Tibbetts.
and then post being bitten, he's
yeah.
a scene stealer. Like he chews up every
Stole your heart.
scene that he's in. Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta go with him though. That's
smitten.
That's a runner-up. for
Smitten
him.
Jeffrey
Looking
Lewis.
for my dog.
Like I know, and that was hot.
Peppa.
Like I felt bad because you knew what happened to the dog, and then he finds it, and it's sad, and him in the rocking chair. Like once he turns into a vampire, it's just my favorite role.
Yeah, he's
favorite,
really
favorite
good at
character in the original.
What?
Your turn.
No, your turn.
Oh,
We're
you just look at me
you.
like I
I'm
did
looking at
something.
you,
Like,
yeah.
You're our favorite character.
MVP of the original, sir.
my original MVP, I'm going with David Soul. I
All
like
right.
David Soul as the hero. I thought, got to give it to him.
Ding, 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 ding. No, that's not the theme.
Now, do you think he would have fended them off better if he had Starsky with him?
Yes.
No, I didn't like Starsky. Starsky
The Gran
wore those weird
Torino, maybe?
sweaters.
Oh, no, what did he- what did
Tevye
they
from
drive?
Fiddler in the Roof.
They,
Wasn't it
they
Gran
rode the
Torino?
Gran Torino.
Was it?
Yeah,
It was a Gran
Torino.
Torino. Okay, that's what it is.
Cherry Red.
I like the Toby Hooper.
With
It's
white
very
stripes.
good. I went effects because I think the effects in this film are really, really good. Really impressive. Honestly, the kid floating outside the window, the smoke, their eyes, I think I think they're more effective in the original.
Yeah.
Barlow, I think, looks a lot cooler. And it had clearly inspired the what they did in their remake. But yeah, I got to give it to those effects because I think they're really, really good.
Cool. MVP remake.
The kid, the little kid,
Yeah.
the
Mark?
main one.
The
Yeah,
actor
yeah.
plays Mark.
Mark.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Mark as well. He was my favorite thing about the new one. I like
Let's shout him out. Jordan Preston Carter.
Jordan. Okay,
right.
Jordan Preston Carter. I thought was a great actor, young, promising. Make more horror films. You're very good in them.
Yeah.
And you're also very funny. You
Yeah.
gotta. Yeah, he is. I liked him in this film. I didn't like Mark from the original. Sorry, Lance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would go with Mark.
He's very like drone-ish in the original.
Oh, he's
He
awesome.
was.
Go away.
Are
He was
you
very
there?
one note.
He's got
like
the
nothing's
axe
there.
and he's
Monotone.
He's fucking annoying.
yeah, he is. He is.
Or that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Fuck him.
he is fucking annoying.
Fuck him.
He killed my
I don't like his
bird.
face.
I don't
As
like his
Josh
face.
would
You know
say.
what? I don't like his face
don't
either.
like his
He
face.
looks. He's like a man boy. He's supposed to be a boy, but he's got the face of like a
Right.
50-year-old or
Right.
some
Yeah,
shit like that.
it's true.
Man.
I agree. I think Mike probably for the new one takes the MVP. I originally had put Spencer Treat Clark as Ryerson because I think both movies
Yeah.
he's definitely scarier in the new one. But
You know what's funny? Because I hate him in Gladiator and
Yeah,
I hate him in
and
Unbreakable.
really,
I
Yeah.
fucking hate him in both
Yeah.
of those
Oh,
movies.
yeah.
We just
No,
don't like
But I
exactly.
really like him in
Yeah.
this movie.
yeah, he does.
Did you like him?
as a
in this
kid?
In the movie,
as
I
a
did, but
kid, he
as a
did-
kid,
No, I didn't like him.
couldn't stand
He
him.
did. He
Either of
looked like
those
the
either.
type of kid you'd want to push down an escalator.
Yeah.
But you know,
Going
yeah,
up.
going up. Yeah.
That kid is back in the escalator.
But yeah, definitely Mike. He way better.
I'm going with Jordan Preston Carter as Mark in this one. And I love the fact that he was a monster kid.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'm watching it, and he reminded me of Reggie Batts, who played in, what the hell was his character's name in Swamp Thing?
Oh, fuck
Remember the kid from Swamp Thing that was with Cable?
Yeah.
Cable! But yeah, the actor's name was Reggie Batts. And he reminded me so much of that
was
kid.
Reggie too, wasn't it?
Was
It
it?
might have
I don't
been.
remember. I just remember his name, Reggie Batts. I thought that
Cable!
was a great name.
That's fucking hilarious.
But he reminded me so much of him. Loved his character.
Wes Craven. Well done.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
it,
right.
right?
Wes Craven directed. that,
We
too.
got Tito's pick, and we actually have two more, but one of them's kind of repetitive. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna get rid
the
of that
vampire
one.
design.
Jude.
No, I'm gonna
Jude. That's right.
Actually,
he
they're
played Jude.
both
They're
kind
both
of repetitive.
Yeah, leave them out.
So yeah, Tito.
I'm
Tito,
fine.
what's your MVP?
I got it. Jordan Preston Carter. I think this
Yeah.
kid's phenomenal.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was good.
I would see a sequel in this movie just for him.
With him.
Yeah.
I would like to see.
He's gonna be a
and-
big,
and
bright,
even-
shining star.
Even
Yeah.
new Ben Mears.
Yeah.
I would.
Even
I would
with
watch
Lewis
this.
Pullman. Yeah, I would watch
Yeah.
a sequel with
Let's
him.
let's do
Yeah.
some more.
See,
with
I would
Lewis
have picked
Pullman.
him and Alfred Woodard together.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that
she
was funny
dies.
too when she gets shot. That shit's
Yeah.
hilarious.
By the
Yeah.
It's
cricket.
just so
Oh.
fun. That's just a fun movie, man. That's just fun.
That part was fun.
She just gets shot out of
I
nowhere.
I do like the idea of the cars as the coffins. I
Yeah.
thought that was
Oh,
pretty
yeah, I thought that was-
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
those
it had
driving.
its moments. Again, this movie had its moments, but not enough for me.
I'm sorry.
Sadly.
True that.
So that's Salem's
That's
Lot.
Salem's
That's
Lot.
something
Salem's
old,
Lot.
something
Salem's
new.
Lots. Salem's is
The
Lots
brothers
is-
Lots. See the original. Check out the remake. Tell us what you think of it. Leave a comment in one of the many things Brian will talk about in a bit. But before we get to that, we got to go to Geek Flag, gentlemen.
Really quickly. So, is there a Jerusalem's Lot?
There is there's
Story?
There's a
Okay,
short
so-
story in
Called Jerusalem's
Night
Lot?
Shift,
So
right?
I will.
Okay.
Is
I
Night
will,
Shift the movie with the rats?
No, well,
No, that's Graveyard Shift.
Graveyard Shift.
Yeah.
Okay.
so okay, so I'm gonna throw my. So you guys are gonna talk about your New York stuff. I'll throw as my geek flag the TV show Chapelwaite, which is an adaptation of Stephen King's story Jerusalem's
Right.
Lot.
Perfect.
Which in the book they refer in the Salem's Lot book they refer to it a lot more as Jerusalem's Lot
Yeah.
for the TV series. They didn't want to confuse people.
Right. But
So-
the new one had the apostrophe before
Before,
Salem.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So you knew there was
Indicating it was
part of the
So-
word missing.
shortened. Yeah.
In the short story Jerusalem's Lot, it is a Stephen King tribute to H.P. Lovecraft. It is a pure H.P. Lovecraft, if not like
Oh,
a
Elder Gods kind of
big,
stuff?
Yeah,
Right,
it is
right.
it is
What is it? Chapel.
Chapelwaite.
Chapelwaite.
And what Chapelwaite does is ties together. It's a period piece. And if you want a great adaptation of Salem's Lot, it ties the H.P. Lovecraft story in with the later Salem's Lot. So
Right.
it manages to combine them both. And it's a little ruining it to let you know that the vampires are going to come into it because you don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd be able to talk you into it without telling you it does tie into Salem's Lot. But it's really good, and they get the vampires right. It's a slow burn story. It's a period piece, and it is and it stars what's his name with the nose?
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody.
Oh, really?
Look
Oh,
at that.
interesting.
So where is this streaming? Dean?
Simpatico.
It
I know, right?
was on Paramount Plus. What did Paramount Plus be?
Is
No,
it
no,
Wait
no, no,
Like-
not Paramount Plus.
Peacock?
Peacock?
No, the other one, Stars or Encore.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
whatever, which one became, I think.
So
No,
is-
it might be MGM now.
It's on MGM.
Oh, okay. I have
Yeah.
MGM.
But
It's
it
on
may
MGM.
be available other places too because it's old and it was only one or
Just
two
the one
seasons. One
season,
season. It's excellent. It really, but you do need to give it a couple episodes for it to really get going. It's a good ghost story to start with, or a good creepy period story, but
Cool.
then it really gets rolling.
Cool. I'll check it out.
That's
Awesome.
Thanks, Dean.
Oh,
Again,
the chick from I'm sorry, Mark.
no, that's cool.
Schitt's Creek is in it. The brunette.
Oh, I love her.
Stevie.
Stevie.
Oh, I love
Stevie.
Stevie.
She's awesome.
Well, that's all the more reason to see.
Who
Yeah.
is also awesome in Kevin Can Go Fuck Himself. So if you haven't
she's
seen
in that too?
I can't get through that show. I don't mind.
Wait, Stevie's in it as
No,
well as
no,
Alexa?
I think.
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. I got the
Yeah,
missing.
yeah.
Lexi?
Alexa's in it.
Alexis? Alexa?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
I think it's Alexis.
Yeah.
Alexis, yeah.
I do like
Yeah, I
Stevie.
can't get through that show. I can't.
What,
Who-
Kevin
who-
can...
Yeah.
Who else brought it? Was it you that brought it up last time? You were here. Somebody brought up Kevin Can Fuck Himself. It was
I think it was.
Or
Or
I
maybe
thait
it was-
I got it from you guys.
no.
Or
I-
maybe it was.
Or maybe it was me.
Wasn't
I
me,
haven't
was
seen
me.
it yet.
It could have been me.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys want to find out the answer... Oh, wait,
Oh, you're skipping ahead again. Stop it, you.
I knew. Stop it, you. Quiet, you. Very quickly, obviously... New York was awesome. I said all I had to say about it in the last episode, so I will just very quickly go again and say, hanging with you guys, heading to the city, seeing the city sights were awesome. Hanging with Tristan and Chris Ham from Get Your Shine Box, recording with them was so much fun. They got us hooked on Gary and his Demons.
Oh,
which I
yeah,
absolutely
that's right.
absolutely
And
loved.
Garth Marenghi's
Garth
Dark
Marenghi.
Places.
Yeah.
So I
Dark
plan
Place.
Dark Place.
on following those, meeting Jim Steranko and Rodney Barnes, and again, the interaction with both of them was great. So the whole trip was fun, and shout out to McHale's because
Oh,
McHale's
yeah.
is our
Jeff.
home away
Jeff.
from the home.
Jeff and the
crew.
staff over at
Jeff,
McHale's.
That's right. They're featured in Doctor Strange
Yeah.
#1.
On 51st
Oh,
Street.
Yeah.
And then three Three Geeky Dads episode number blah blah. blah.
That's right. You know, if you want to fight, oh no. My geek flag is Terrifier 3. Dean and I saw it last night, and I know you liked it. I
so good.
Freaking loved it. I thought it was great. I like the Terrifier series a lot. I think I'm looking forward to the next one. Right now, it's a great horror trilogy, so we don't know what number 4 will do, but it's hilarious. The guy who plays Art the Clown is a phenomenal performer that makes a otherwise very gruesome torture porn movie fun.
Yeah.
The gore effects
He has a lot of humor, just his
over the
facial
top.
expressions.
Yeah. The gore effects are over the top.
Yeah.
It's funny, it's sick, it's
And it was nice to
disturbing.
see Tom Savini pop up.
Tom Savini.
It was
and
nice to see
Clint Howard
pop up in cameos.
Oh.
And what was his name? I want to say
As
Daniel
Santa?
Roebuck as
Santa, yeah.
yeah, who was Grandpa in the new Monsters movie.
That's
And,
right.
he's been in a few Rob Zombie films.
I'm tempted to see these movies, but then I hear like 2.5 runtime. 2.5 hour runtime.
The second
I'm
one
like,
was
Fuck outta
2.5 hours.
I don't know.
Long-ass fucking horror
I'm
movie,
curious to
dude.
see what you think.
Because that's
of it.
what my dad said. He wanted to watch Terrifier 2 before we went to see Terrifier 3 the other night.
Terrifier 2, I think, is longer or feels longer.
Yeah,
than
and he
Terrifier
said
3.
it took him like 4 nights to get through it.
It does. It's
Yeah.
a long
Well,
movie.
fuck, if Brian's dad doesn't want to do it.
Well,
I
he
don't
was
know if I
also
can do
watching it like in between hockey games too.
Yeah,
It's also
that's fair.
hockey
you
season.
can't be
It's
doing
cranking
it while
up,
watching
so
hockey games.
that
sir.
takes priority this time of
That's
year.
fair.
Actually, if you want to check out the Terrifier movies, might I recommend All Hallows Eve with Art the Clown?
Yeah, I gotta
Yes,
check that one
that's-
out.
Oh, that's his first. That's like the
appearance.
Malibu Sun. That's for Art the Clown.
Didn't I see that it was like an even earlier version was like the Ninth Circle, which was like the throwback was the girl on the bus was reading
That's
the book,
part
The
of.
Ninth Circle.
That's part. Yeah.
And that was like
right,
the
right,
short
right,
film
yes.
that he originally
Yes.
popped up in.
So,
Which I have
definitely
to
check
find.
them out. Horror fans.
Yeah,
Of
so
the
much
show.
Art the Crown.
If you like gore and you like comedy, these movies are awesome. If you don't, then stay away from them because they're disturbing. And no one is safe. No one.
No,
They pull no punches.
nope.
All right.
That's fine.
As far as New York, another great experience. I mean, it was awesome, and I think each time I go, I learn a little bit more about the best way to do things, and I'm already looking forward to next year. Big ups to Tito and his friends. I hung out with them one day.
Yeah, he rope dropped with us. That was fun.
Which was cool. Yeah,
We were like, Derek, this is what we're doing as soon as the rope drops. He was like, okay.
Like I'm for it. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
We're beelining
And
it
it was
for this
was
fucking
cool.
booth.
Like I liked the experience, even just standing there. The Ham brothers hanging out with them was fantastic. Brian showing us some cool spots that he found near our hotel. Awesome time.
Yeah.
The people that I met, the artists, Travis Mercer, artist on Task. I got a Task Force Z cover that he did with Red Hood. I got that signed by him. He was awesome, wicked cool, down to earth guy. Got another piece of work done by Valeria, which I can't wait to get hung up. I'll post a picture once they're hung up together. And it was just great. And the celebrities that I met, the Red Dead crew and the Usher crew, like awesome people. Such a cool experience. So worth it. I always kind of question like spending that much money to.
Carla
do
Gugino's what,
something.
4'11"? She's shorter than you.
She is fucking, and she's.
And you're not. I'm not saying you're
absolutely
a person,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's like, and all of them so incredibly nice.
Yeah.
Like Kate Siegel was so sweet. Mike Flanagan, I got to actually shoot the shit with him for a little bit about like movies and his process and like the whole
cool.
idea that he's like, how he does a lot of adaptations and especially with Usher being able to like kind of he's the king at being able to just kind of pepper in all these different pieces of these already established pieces of work.
Yeah.
He's awesome at it. Yeah, it was a great experience. So I can't wait. Again, I can't wait for next year. Another funny thing about Comic-Con is that like I discover things that I didn't know existed. Because there's a lot of things there that I'm like, I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
I just recently discovered Has Been Hotel on Prime, and it is so fucking awesome that like it's my total new obsession. It's a cartoon, adult animation. Demons in Hell. I can't get enough of it. I fucking love it. Angel Dust is my favorite character. I don't know if people, listeners of the show, have watched it. Have you
I
ever seen
watched
it?
the first episode and it wasn't for me.
No.
Oh man,
It's
You hate everything.
it's just I've never come across a show so like totally fucked up like in the boys kind of way.
Yeah.
Like there's some fucked up shit on this show.
Yeah.
I can't talk enough about it. So check it out and let me know what you think.
All right, will do.
Brian.
Yeah, as far as New York goes, I had a blast hanging with you guys. I had a blast at the con. I had no agenda, so I just kind of wandered aimlessly, and I didn't get any autographs. I didn't see any panels, but I still had a great time. I loved hanging with you guys. I know you love seeing filming locations.
Yeah.
And I had that
Such
in
a
mind.
blast. It was so awesome.
Our first day, I took Derek and Mark on a 4 or 5 mile round trip around.
did it.
Yeah, we went down to.
And I survived.
You did. You did really good.
You did great.
Yeah, we went down to the was it 42nd Street where the New York Public Library is.
Yeah,
where
we
the
saw it from the
Ghostbusters.
beginning.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Grand
Yeah.
Central Station,
Yeah.
like where the Avengers have their whole 360
That's right.
cool shot.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, look at
yeah.
And everybody waltz in Fisher King.
Yep.
That's right. That's right.
And the church.
Yeah, we saw St. Patrick's
movie.
Cathedral. We
Gremlins
saw
2,
Rockefeller
30
Center.
Rock. We saw the Radio City Music Hall. Yeah, and we had a really cool walk.
Yeah.
That was an awesome
It was.
adventure.
Yeah, yeah.
That was great. We were
So
in
I
Times
was-
Square where Jason Voorhees
That's right. We-
shows up in
Oh,
the
yeah.
last 20 minutes of
We went
Jason.
through
Broke
Times
the
Square.
radio.
James Manhattan.
We went through
Power
Times
Rangers.
Square.
We
Walking
saw
by
the
and
Elmo.
hits
We
the
saw the Naked Cowboy. We
That's
saw
right.
Oh, I got my ass
Oh, the
grabbed.
naked cowboy.
Yeah,
Jiggled my
Mark got his
bot-
ass grabbed by the
he-
naked
he
cowboy.
jiggled my bottom.
Legend.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, so no, we had a ball, and I can't wait to do it again next year with you guys.
So alive, this city.
So alive. This is-
Hashtag so alive the city.
I saw Terrifier 3 like Mark and Dean last night. I went to go see it with my dad and my brother, and I really liked it. My only qualm was, like I was telling you, I thought that there was maybe a missing reel because it seemed like the ending was a little rushed. They spent a lot of time on like big kills at the beginning, and then like you said, maybe he's not dead, but it seemed like they killed off some family members that were really important to the plot, like off screen. Like they all of a sudden show up and one guy's nailed to the wall and another guy's got his head cut off, and I'm like, what I miss? But anyway, other than that, I really enjoyed it. The kills were fantastic. What I'm watching right now, What We Do in the Shadows, their final season started this week.
Oh, shit. Okay.
3 episodes they've dropped already.
Really?
Yep. To
Jesus.
start, Star Trek Lower Decks, they dropped 2 episodes. This is also their final season, so 2 great shows are starting this their end, I guess, the beginning of their end, and I'm a little sad, but I'm glad they're back.
My friend.
Yeah.
There'll be more stuff for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
Marvel
New
has
York
come
City.
on.
Coming down the pipeline.
Even Star Trek, Section 31 is coming
There
out
you
in
go.
Which
with
is the
Michelle
movie.
Yeoh. Yeah.
Movie.
Coming out
Oh,
in January.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
That's what they were pimping at Comic-Con.
I want to show a Star Trek prequel to the first Red Shirt, the first guy to get killed.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Scott.
And how did that Scott?
Yeah.
Scott. Yeah.
The
Scott
most,
Redshirt.
the most interesting man in the world was a red shirt. He survived.
That's true.
The actor that played the
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. He was
I
on
didn't
Star
know that.
Trek. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. He
The
played a red
Dos
shirt one
Equis guy?
episode.
The
Yeah.
Dos Equis.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Just
gotta get
another
your start
interesting
somewhere.
thing about him.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Red shirt,
Yeah.
red shirt.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
I
awesome.
don't always play a red shirt, but when I do, I live through the entire episode.
Ensign Ricky. Ah, crap.
That's hilarious.
Ensign Enrique.
And
Tito.
I had a fucking ball this year. I usually have a great time. This is one of the best times I've had in a long time. You guys were there, Chris and Triss. That's what I'm calling them, Chris and Triss. It's fun. A guy that I work with goes every year. We hooked up at one point. We were hanging out. I had my boys with me, so it was a lot of fun. Really, just kind of bouncing around from point to point. I met some cool fucking people. I met you guys from the Wu-Tang Clan. He's
Nice.
not the most famous member, but he's still a member of one of the biggest rap groups of all time. So it's a good one.
It's a win.
It's a solid one. I shook Bruce Campbell's hand.
That's right. You did.
Yes, you did.
He was
Lucky
very
bastard.
nice. Although the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, Bruce, dude, just take a fucking picture with me, man. Why else would you be on the show
because
floor?
his handler wouldn't let you.
Because his handler wouldn't let me. He also said no.
The
He
handlers
said
are
no.
the worst part
The
about the
handlers
con.
are-
He did say
the
no.
worst.
He shook my hand. He was very nice about it. He was a cool dude.
Yeah.
Rodney Barnes was great. I got to meet him. the highlight for me, I met David Dastmalchian. He was doing a signing. We talked for a little bit. I told him how fucking awesome I thought Late Night with the Devil was. He was very appreciative. Super weird guy, but really, really nice.
Weird how?
Weird, just like he looks like a weirdo,
Yeah.
so he kind of behaves like a weirdo.
Yeah, he was acting a little weird.
He was dressed like Neo from The Matrix.
Really?
Long black jacket,
Always in black.
sunglasses,
Always, yeah.
all black. He was so sweet.
Wait, was he cosplaying?
No, he was just there,
Are you
just
sure?
being David
No.
Dastmalchian. No, I think he was just
I'll
fucking
tell you
being
in a
himself.
minute, but yeah.
Really nice guy. I told him how much I love Late Night with the Devil. He's got a new comic book called Knights vs. Samurai. He told me, he's working with the guy who made Late Night with the Devil. They want to try to make it into a movie.
Oh, nice.
And then he had another signing,
Yeah.
so I went downstairs and I met him again. And I was like,
remember you?
"Hey, David Dastmalchian, how's it going?" He was like,
you
"Oh,
told him how
nice
much
to
you
see
hated
you
Late Night with the
again."
Devil.
He didn't remember me, and again, he was just like, "Hey, I'm here, guy." He was being very, very cool guy. So that was my highlight. Something else that happened at Comic-Con, and I got to listen to it on the way home. I'm a musical guy. Lin-Manuel Miranda and Issa Davis made a concept album of The Warriors, the movie from the late 70s. It's fucking awesome.
Really?
Lauryn Hill's on it. Nas is on it. Busta Rhymes.
Is this something new or is this? An
Yeah,
old
it just
project
came
you did?
out on.
Really?
He's been working on it for years, and they may make it into a. It's probably what it is right now. Is probably just like a one act.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not too long. James Remar comes back as a character.
Oh, nice.
Is it David Patrick Kelly? Warriors.
Yes.
Yes.
That
yeah,
actor.
yeah.
He has an appearance on it. Coleman Domingo, Mark Anthony, just like so many people, and it's
One of them
really.
just recently passed. One of the guys that was at the con.
Oh yes, the guy who plays Cochise.
yeah.
He passed. Yeah,
Cochise.
because they did a shout out to him.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. Kim Dracula, I've never heard of this person. He plays the Luther character. It's just a really fun concept album. The Rogues are a heavy metal band. The Lizzies are a ska punk pop band. One of the gangs is a salsa group, so it's Mark Anthony. The Warriors are hip hop. It's very fun. Definitely check it out.
That's wicked cool.
That's all I've been listening to, watching the movies, and I bought the book on tape, and I've been listening to the book on tape.
Nice.
Because I don't fucking read books.
You don't. You
Bunch
know.
of nerds.
He was talking about that on NPR, and I could not wrap my head around what this was like. That, like,
It's very cool. It's a concept. It's very cool. It tells the story very well.
Nice.
Tito, you need Audible because you can listen to books in your car.
I know it's true. I got a fucking book in my car to listen
You
to
can,
it.
you can listen to it.
Yeah.
And, when
With
you sign to
Audible,
Audible,
yeah.
you get
Might I
credits.
recommend the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's read by a proper British author.
Brian's been reading it for like the past
James
4
Mason
years.
is reading it to me. Yeah.
James
It's fucking fun,
Mason,
man.
it's-
It's fun.
Tito, don't forget your towel.
But that's it. That's all I got.
I want to say,
I'll drink this cream soda.
so Joe Bob had a double feature.
Oh, I forgot
Beelzebub
about it. Did you watch it?
Bash. And the two movies were
Satan's Little Helper
Satan's Little Helper, and Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, nice.
And David, whose name I will
Dastmalchian.
Dastmalchian, guest stars. He
shows
up.
on?
He shows up on the show.
He's
Oh,
on the
good.
show,
That's
and,
dope.
and he's fantastic.
Does he snuggle up with Darcy the Mail Girl?
Wouldn't you?
I would.
Yes, her.
I wouldn't.
But I know you wouldn't. You
so I got to see Late Night
Derek
with the
has
Devil
standards,
back
we don't.
before it had
Yeah,
effects
before
in
it had
Oh,
a
really?
following.
Yeah.
But this is now my third time seeing this movie, and I think it might be my favorite movie of this year.
Yeah, a
Dude,
lot of people are
mine
saying
too.
that.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it might be
Yeah.
the
That is so cool.
my favorite movie of
And
this
that's not
year.
my kind of
Like
movie.
favorite horror
understand.
movie or
Same.
favorite movie?
favorite movie.
All right.
So I got texted pictures from the set as it was being made, and
Nice.
like,
Yeah.
oh, check this out, and it's
Who
it's
did you know
super-
that was on there?
The producer.
Oh, nice.
Was a friend of mine.
Right.
Dude, yeah, that's what I told him when I saw him. I was like, dude, I think this might be one of the best movies that came out this year.
It just gets better each time I see it,
Yeah.
and then knowing a little bit about it when they talk to him and everything, it's just it's cool.
So during the filming, he kept texting me saying, "I'm working with this guy that reminds me so much of you. He is
Totally. He
does,
exactly
totally.
you."
Yeah.
And I was when he told me who it was, I'm like, oh, I get that
All the
lot.
time.
Yeah.
And I
Polka
was
dot
like,
man.
but apparently, him and I have very similar personalities.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because just seeing him on TV and stuff,
Yeah.
I can kind of probably see
Well,
why.
I can
Very
see it now.
awesome. Both
Dean's
of
always
you.
dressed.
Very
I don't think I've
awesome.
ever seen you not dressed in black.
Well, why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you?
I've never seen you dressed like Neo from The Matrix.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to change that.
But I have seen him dressed as Professor Plum.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
And that's not black. That's
No, that's when he's in character. That's not Dean.
That's
not
true.
Dean.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah,
Is that
that's it.
everybody?
That's the geek
All
facts.
right.
I
Well,
believe
those are the
so.
geeks. Like, Dean has joined us before
right.
many a times. And
And thank
he's
you,
always
Dean,
a
for coming back.
welcome guest. And if you want to hear more of Dean, because you liked him so much on this show, if you want to know any of what we were talking about before with all the past episodes, we couldn't remember what
I know I
episode.
do.
Brian, where can they go?
They can go to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.
The number 3.
gdpodcast.com. And as Mark said, you'll be able to find all of our past episodes there, along with a place where you can rate and review the show. A 5-star rating and a review go a long way to help keep us a bit further forward from the rest of the podcasting pack. And it makes it, most importantly, it makes it easier for others to find us while they're searching for great geeky content like our own. Also, if you're not a subscriber, we would encourage you to subscribe to the show at the website. There's an easy spot you can do it. There's a bunch of shiny buttons to the podcast platform of your choice, so you will never miss an upcoming episode. Our social media presences are linked at the website as well. We can be found at Facebook, Instagram,
Stitcher.
X?
no,
Not Stitcher.
X, Twitter, now X, and our audio can be found weekly on YouTube as well.
We're on that Donald Trump streaming site too, or the one that he created, One America. We're on that too. I think.
Truth. We're
Yeah,
on
we
Truth.
are. We're on
so
Truth
sure.
America.
Yeah, Truth.
Well,
Social.
kiss my grits.
So let me see what else is out there. We have a Ko-fi page. Ko-fi is if you like the show, and we hope you do. You might want to make a small donation. Any donation of any size will be greatly appreciated because, as we say, podcasting is not cheap. So with that, I just want to say thank you out there, everybody, for listening. And back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, boys. As always, thank you again, Dean, for joining us tonight in this insanity. And thank you all at home for listening to us, as always. And, well, with that, so for 3 Geeky Dads, I'm Mark.
I'm Derek.
Brian.
I'm Tito.
And I'm Dean.
Saying goodnight and keep watching the skies, because Mr. Barlow's looking down on you, and you can do nothing against the master. Go to hell, Derek. You don't like my acting.
You ever see The
Who
Verdict?
do you think you are?
No.
Have you not seen The
Why
Verdict?
is he in that?
It's him and Paul Newman. It's fucking phenomenal.
Yes, have you
Yeah.
not
Wow.
seen Lolita?
They play opposing lawyers.
No.
Well, you're an
James
idiot.
Mason's the other lawyer in the
Yeah.
verdict.
Yeah.
That one goes back to the early 80s,
I'll have to
doesn't
check it
it?
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you not seen
So good.
Flash Gordon?
Yes.
Well, I wasn't in that. but
That movie?
I could have been.
Say, who was he that?
I was the Naked
What else?
Birdman originally.
He was
would
in
I have
North by
seen with him?
Northwest.
That's
Oh,
right,
okay.
I was.
Yeah.
I was
Thank
trying to
you,
remember
Brian.
what his big
Yeah.
breaks.
Yeah.
Can you imagine James Mason and Donald Pleasance in conversation? Hello, Donald. Hello, James.
Hello, Dolly.
What are you doing? I shot him 6 times. Good for you, Donald.
Broccoli,
Broccoli,
my enemy.
my enemy. That's Jenga. Nice job, guys. Great episode. That's Jenga.
Flight of the Conchords.
I don't love it.
Boy,
know.
do you see it, mister? There's a guy who wants to get it on with his sister.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
You gotta reach.
All
Okay,
right.
let's
Okay.
do this.
Hey guys, did you know Stephen King's son's name is Joe?
It
Get
is
the hell out.
real?
I'm
No.
serious. I'm not joking. He is.
Oh,
Choking. Oh.
You get?
I do.
I
I
do
like
get
that I
it.
forget it after you tell the joke. I forget what the joke is.
I
Tito's not
believe
even
his-
I was
drinking.
legitimately like, what? I don't know.
Hey, look, everyone, toast.
I believe he goes by Joe Hill.
Oh, the glasses are on.
Well, actually.
It's time, children. And then it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a while.
You want to count it in?
Yeah, well, he cuts
All
it in. And
5, 4.
all I can think of is Wayne's World.
Man, I say, you're right.
didn't
It's
say
a total
it.
babe.
Guys, you're naughty.
Come on in.
All right, I'll.
When
Let's
I
go
point
to a
you,
Broadway
Mr.
show.
Simpson.
The floor is yours.
So, tonight, as Mark mentioned, we're going to be looking at Salem's Lot, both the original miniseries and the 2020. Yeah, let's start over.
He has this kind of. I like that he's not.
Let's get Hutch, and he just doesn't. He doesn't. But he does. But he even that doesn't work because the scenes with him and like, the shit. I lost my place.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
The drugs. I hid them in the coffins. Oh, sorry.
You know, it like just.
I
Batman.
Yeah, that's the one. I never saw the original
Are we
until
going
recently.
this way?
We
Yeah,
went
we're
that way
going this
before.
way.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah.
Go. I'm sorry.
That's all right, Tito. I'm glad you're enthused about this
I thought
movie,
we
though.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clock. Oh, because I'm normally
Well,
there.
you
So
are.
everything is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. You're doing
No,
everything
this is
right,
kinda
Dean.
cool.
You're
Yeah.
doing everything right.
Tito fucked up.
Yeah, for sure.
So I love this book.
Fraser Clark Heston.
Okay, don't know who it is.
No idea.
Never mind. That's a good movie,
You know
though.
from such things as.
I love that movie. It's the Tommy Wiseau story.
What a story,
Wow.
Tito.
The Ten Commandments from 1956.
Wow.
So is he
Machi.
related to Charles Heston?
Oh,
Charlton Heston?
What a great fucking question. It doesn't say. It says what he's known for.
The internet has failed us.
How rare.
Yeah.
All right.
Charlton
well,
Heston. Yes, Daddy.
Charlton Heston.
This is Daddy.
Nice.
Oh, who is your daddy?
Charlton.
That fucking lunatic with all those guns.
It's your right as an American citizen. Let the NRA go.
He only directed 5 things.
That's all we needed to
One
do.
of them was Needful Things.
All
We're
right.
going to stop for a second. Somebody's hissing.
Yeah.
Can everybody check their mic cables?
Might be me.
Check your mic cable, Mark. Dean?
Still hear it.
That's there too.
So wait, if I unplug mine, will you?
You still hear the?
Oh, it went away.
It stopped.
Did it?
Went away.
Yeah.
It's Tito's.
Tito's
Strange.
correct.
That's weird. Oh, you know what it is?
No
I
idea.
realize. I put my computer. It's interference. All right. Okay.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
We
It was
still hearing
Brian's
it?
fault.
Damn you,
Are
Brian.
we still hearing you? No.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Cool.
Slight-
No.
no,
All right.
yeah.
All right. Good. Okay.
Okay.
Mark.
Sorry, Dean.
Go. Want me to come in on mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
All
your
right,
turn now, buddy.
Again, people with a budget that they have performing such a great effect.
Oh.
The categories.
Yes.
The category.
That was an audible meow.
Yes, it was.
Weird.
Gotta wait my whiskey.
You're
What's your
famous now.
2 cents there? Oh, he doesn't agree with me. What's up?
That's
Hello, puss. Stay right there, puss. So, yeah. The short answer is I like.
Yeah, we are. We're
So
going strong.
We're reaching
on
the
that.
idiots.
Yeah.
All right,
We're
awesome.
getting strong.
Yep.
Real strong.
We're running it right into the ground.
A great presence.
And let's see.
You might say the greatest presence. Greatest presence.
Sorry, Brian.
It's okay, Tito. Whenever you're ready. All right.
Tito does
And we're-
battle with cream soda.
And we're back.
Books are for dorks.